Hey, dude. I was looking at the run sheet for today. On Today in History, there's something you have mentioned here, and I know it's June 14th. I know what month it is. I know you're trying to be edgy. You're the comic guy among the two of us. But the whole it's Pride Month thing, I don't think you can say this part.
Dude, that says flag. Today is Flag Day. Flag.
Oh. Okay.
Alright. I never listen, I'm gonna listen. I wanna listen to the Dumb Zone.
And today's Friday. Did you know that?
I did. Big day. Got a big dance recital tomorrow. It's Friday, so you're going to add something to the open every week. Respect.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
We're going to party as if it's Friday. I did not wear my Hawaiian shirt, though.
It doesn't feel right without her here, to me.
Without Julie.
Although you do have one over there in the corner.
I do, but I also just got this in the mail.
Your Kyrie jersey?
And I just thought I'm trying to do my part.
Yeah.
And I'm upset Blake's not here. No offense to you, Rachel, but I thought just if Blake could see the full transformation where I'm actually buying Kyrie shirts and wearing them now.
Yeah, and you're also wearing a Cleveland 2016 championship hat,
because that will channel Kyrie. He was a big part of that.
Yep.
You know, he knows a thing or two about coming back from being down and counted out in a series.
Yeah, not 3-0.
Not 3-0, but I don't. How many had ever done it 3-1 in the finals previous to that?
I don't think any. Ergo.
What is that, the transitive something?
Transitive property
thing?
You remember a fight we used to have was, this is like pre-YouTube TV, and I wasn't even like a Cavs fan. I mean, I'm a LeBron fan, but I think I said once that I would never delete that off my DVR.
Why is that a fight?
I think if you think about it for 1 second, you'll know why. I said, I think this is the most incredible sports feat I've ever witnessed in my life, and that
did Bob poo-poo that?
That turned into an argument. Yeah.
So this will be this epi today, or as Wire Will texted me, because he said he's a guy that can hook up that generator that Scene gave me, and he said, "Hey, I just finished listening to today's Sode."
Ooh, I think I like Sode more than Epi.
It looked cool in writing.
Yeah, I like that.
And so I might start using that. But today's Epi is going to be enhanced by video.
Look at that.
If later on you want to go look at the video, you can do that. And we're in our Dallas studios today. We have Video Man here. I've already mentioned Rachel is intern Rachel, who's kind of, I don't know, I haven't even noticed Blake's gone with Rachel here. It feels like everything's
I'd be getting
running a bit smoother, in fact.
I have noticed that Blake is gone.
Okay. But it's not, we actually have a guest in studio today.
We do. Let's introduce them.
Danny Bayless. He stands at 6'4" and previously delivered pizza. He once smoked drugs that made him sleep for 30 straight hours. He's the Knock City Knocker. He's a state champion. He can still produce children. And any team that selects him will probably not miss him when he's gone. Danny Bayless, Knock City.
Boy, that's great.
It's Danny. Thank you, James.
That is Danny.
Made him voice his own draft profile.
This the first you've seen our studio? You've been up in the den.
Been in the South Lake Den. This is my first foray
What do you think?
into the bowels of Fox 4 News.
Okay.
We
That's
can
gonna
edit
take
that
us,
out.
We just
What
don't
did I
talk
do?
about exactly where it is just yet, but it's okay.
You can edit
Pretty
that
soon.
out?
Yeah, we'll just beep it.
Okay, stay. Okay. You're just going to beep?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
We're fine.
But you like
Thanks,
the
thanks for having me.
It's
Rob,
fine. No,
Rob
we just
themed the
we're
back.
just not announcing exactly where we're at, but we're close to announcing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I remember once in the first minute of me being on the air, some things were said that caused a lawsuit threat. I don't want the same thing to happen just now. So if we need to cut that out and start over,
I don't
from the
think
beginning,
we're quite at that,
we can do
at that
that.
level. But no,
Okay.
we heard quite a bit about your lawsuit threat during our lawsuit threat. It was
You
fun.
did?
Oh, yeah.
How much can you guys talk about that now? Is
We can
the
say
statute
anything we want.
You were
can
being
100%.
threatened. You were going to get sued by who?
Cumulus.
Why?
Because the first day that I joined the Freak, Mike Reiner had this big,
Grandiose
introduction. Thank you. And he falsely said that this is a guy that I've been talking to every day for 3 months, intimating that he was tampering, trying to get me
Yeah. The term, sir, as I now know,
Please.
is soliciting.
soliciting.
Yes.
During what would have been my non-compete phase of 6 months that was, attached to the end of my departure from the ticket. And what he said was completely not true. I had no conversations with him about that at all. In fact, I even pulled out my phone on the air and went to Mike Reiner's text thread, and we hadn't had any conversations within the past 6 months. And I showed it to
Possibly even including whenever you produced his show.
him. Right.
Very likely then.
Probably 3 years prior to
So
when
he was just trying to embellish it, make it sound
Oh, he
good,
was playing-
welcome
he was-
you to the team.
Yeah.
being
Playing radio,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah. It's very
And-
funny how the people who represent radio stations don't understand anything about radio.
Yeah, they had, like, Jake was joking about something, and they just looked at it as the printed word, and it seemed like
Yeah, it might have been the Akash thing that like got a little bit mixed up, but who knows? But yeah, it's very
but
funny.
yeah, you were saying something in a humorous vein,
Yes, in
comedic vein.
a comedic vein.
So within a matter of days after he said that on the air, I just didn't really think much of it. But I get a letter from legal,
Yeah.
Cumulus Legal, saying,
I know
based
about
on
that.
the comments of Mike Reiner saying that you guys have been talking, blah, 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 that we believe that you're in violation of your non-compete. Please contact us immediately to, deal with this.
I think I'm going to play this every time you finish a sentence.
Yeah.
Stinger.
I need that. So I handed it over to, iHeart Legal, and they took care of it. But basically it said, this didn't happen. He was playing radio, and it went away. But can't blame them for not trying.
Sure.
Hey, they tried.
Yeah,
with
if
you
you got a
guys.
team of lawyers, you got to use them once in a while.
Yeah.
If you got a big hog, you got to throw it out there now and again,
Are you
right?
talking about
Wave it around.
in-house counsel?
Yeah.
We learned a lot of terms and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all thankful for that.
So, yeah, later today, now that you mentioned getting legal missives, we have one, and I'm going to read it later. But I don't want to do it
that's
right
a fun
now.
one.
I don't want to lead right into it.
So
I want to tease ahead for time spent listening.
yeah, it's very important.
Yeah.
Quarter hours,
Mhm.
Yeah.
human such.
How great is that, though? Not to be tethered to that
It's pretty great.
to that system of evaluating whether you're good or not.
Yeah. This is the real deal here. You can't hide.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. Which always, I found interesting. It's like our ratings were not great, not even really good at 97.1. Understandable why
About
they let
average?
us go. But our podcast numbers, things that you can actually, like 100% accurate timing
Yeah.
of how long
The
people are
analytics
listening,
are, yeah.
they're true. And, when you are getting 1 million downloads in 2 months.
You were destroying.
It, they don't look at that.
No, we were having this conversation with somebody that interviewed us the other day. Like, it used to drive me personally insane because I'm not like great at math, but I do think I'm somewhat more inclined to the quantitative side than a lot of people who do communications. I found that out whenever I went to grad school, and everyone was like, "What do we have to learn math?" And I was like, "Well, maybe that's why your entire industry is failing." But like when a 58-year-old would listen to us all week. And we would see that in the panel. I was just like, it doesn't matter though.
Well, that's the demographic.
Like,
because
are you kidding me?
For folks that may not know what you're discussing, the focused, the pointed demographic that they look at is men. Number one, you're excluding an entire
of
gender,
course.
half the people in the world, from the ages of 25 to 54.
Yeah.
That's the rating that they look at. That's how they sell to advertisers. That's like, look, we're relevant with this demographic. Well, what 25-year-old do you know that has money to spend on a Bulova watch or a classic BMW?
I know fewer of them.
High-end legal action.
I know fewer of them than I do 62-year-olds.
100%.
So, I mean, my dad is retired in his mid to late 60s, and he still needs his foundation repaired. He still needs windows. He still needs AC help. Like,
some of that was a little weird though too, because they tell you that we don't make any money. We sell off 25 to 54. We don't make any money if you guys don't hit that demographic. You did really great in a little higher demo, but sorry. And then you'd hear ads on the station for like a hearing aid,
right? Yeah,
and you're like, wait,
dong pills.
You're not making
hearing
money
aids.
off that?
Hey, whoa! You're not
actually
54 to
It's
need dong pills. I'm gonna be
luxury cars, things that are
real clear about that. Video man piped up pretty quick.
Oh, for dong pills? Always. But yeah, it's things that are catered to people that own homes.
Yeah.
I didn't buy my first home until I was at the very end of that demographic.
Yeah, and I think it's also weird. I was thinking about this after we had that conversation with Mike Pesca the other day. It's weird, too, that it doesn't account for, like, people living longer and having kids later. So the cultural demographic of society has shifted pretty much in one direction, outside of, like, COVID. That might have had a life expectancy impact. But outside of that, it's like the 54-year-old of 25 years ago is not the 54-year-old of 2024. So I don't know.
It
doesn't matter.
Another classic case of the industry doing things the way it's always been done.
Yeah.
Well, why are you doing it this way? Well, this is the way we've always done it.
Yeah. So it turns out they put two people in a room who were like, that makes no sense to us. And that ultimately may be good, maybe bad, but that's kind of
that's where that's how we get here.
Yeah. Sure. So my quick story, though, because Rachel brought she's apparently going to take over Blake's space. So she brought a Taylor Swift album today. I know, is that what
to go along with her Taylor's version
laptop cover?
Laptop, yeah.
Yeah. So
so you just brought a picture of Taylor Smith or Swift.
It's autographed though.
Okay, can I get a picture? Can I get a picture of the intern Taylor Smith now, so I can frame that too with his autograph?
Yeah, just
there was
so
an
we can have
intern
that.
named Taylor Smith. But so I think I told you guys my daughter was going to a camp over the last week, popular summer activity, and it's super cool because it's at Grapevine Lake, so they get to just go.
So it's not church camp, so she can smoke pot.
No, not yet.
For a callback,
we'll get
from yesterday.
First time I ever smoked pot was at church camp. That's what he means.
It's a lot of firsts happen at church camp.
That's very true. From what I've heard, there's many. So it's a camp at Grapevine Lake. It seems really, really cool. The counselors are cool. One sidebar on the counselors, I feel like there's like some exchange program going on with like Australian tourism. Like, you know how people like from around the world come and work at Disney World?
Yeah.
As part of like a hospitality program or something?
Yeah.
The last couple of people that I've dealt with at this camp were Australian. And I don't know the last time I saw one of them at all. So that was weird. And one of them,
and this is for kids?
Yeah, it's like
there's a reason for that.
5 to 9. Why?
Bluey.
Oh, that might be they're exporting their humans because of Bluey.
Yeah.
I love Bluey.
Yeah, it's the
Bluey
best show on television.
It really
and I dare anyone to argue with me over it.
Yeah.
It is. I think it's because Australians are finally accepted as humans, and we're willing to take them on to do American jobs because of the popularity of Bluey.
Let me be very clear.
But being serious, the kids that are going to these camps,
they don't think it's weird.
they know that accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first one I dealt with, obscenely hot guy. Just too hot. Made me uncomfortable. And he's Australian, so you're like, if you're an American 6, it'd bump you up a little bit if you had the accent. But my kid comes home and is like, hey, I learned a bad word today.
Your kid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, don't be cunt, don't be cunt, don't be cunt.
You feel like that's something they throw around?
I think they're a lot more open to using it than we are.
Well, yeah, it's a term of endearment if you're in England.
Exactly.
That's what you call your mates.
And she says, a couple boys in my camp class said, hey, you know, Taylor Swift sucks.
Okay.
Sucks.
And I hate Taylor Swift. So I had to do like the straight face, because what I wanted to do is be like, they're right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, music is terrible.
But yeah, so now she's graduated from dumb to sucks.
It sucks. And it was about Taylor.
That's a rite of passage.
And she was really upset about it. She was like, she doesn't suck, does she, Dad? And
well, I mean, only Travis could tell us that.
okay. Yeah. Sure.
You know what's funny? You brought up how Americans, like you said, an American 6, you throw in an Aussie accent or French or Italian.
Oh, yeah.
You immediately jump at least 1.5 hot points. It doesn't work the other way around as an American going to other countries. It does
works,
not.
It might work the other way around. It might work negatively.
Negatively, yes.
Yeah.
They're
like,
they don't
what
like
anything
us.
to do with you.
Mm-mm.
You're not as fat as I thought you'd be.
Speaking of only Travis can tell us that, does she? No, right?
I was not going to say it, but there's no chance.
General guy, for sure. Maybe with Travis. Big time football player. But nobody can be as big time as her.
Right. Yeah. No, it's a good point.
Huh. Because if there's that power dynamic, that's an interesting thought process here.
So Dan's opinion here, basically, to distill it, is that the only people who perform a sexual favor for their partner is the person who is in a disadvantageous position of power in the
Not always, but you got to think, especially when they met, also.
That kind of tells you what he watches, doesn't it?
You guys don't have any idea about what I watch.
I bet I can predict.
I think I can predict,
I bet I
too.
can predict 7 out of 10 of your keywords right now.
Bondage.
Missionary.
Loving.
Cuddling.
Yep. Communicating.
Yeah, just all the things that I really love to do.
Being
book
good
club.
dad.
Yes, book club.
Supportive. Yeah.
Yeah, last night was book club. I hurt my back, and I know you're a back guy.
Yeah.
Although I don't think I just heard it picking up. So, number one, I feel like I'm the guy who works out the most and is in the worst shape of anyone who works out 3 times a week. Would you agree with that? Like, I feel like I'm just not getting any better. I go to the gym 3 times. I effort 3 times a week.
I think you're in.
I hit 2 for sure.
For your age, you're in pretty good shape. You're in pretty good health, and I mean,
I just work out more, and I feel like there should be a result.
I see.
I don't try that hard when I go though.
But I mean, I see
But I'd lift some stuff.
a number of people. That's part of the problem.
What?
Like, I remember the first time you walked in on me at like the camp gym, like at training camp, and you were like,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I was because if I go in there,
'Cause I saw you at the
I
rec
go
center.
berserk.
Yeah.
Like that's why I like doing it. And I remember you walking in and being like, "What are you doing?"
That you were going too hard?
Yeah.
But that could have been my era, because I did go through an era where I was trying to just do remember I was going to do curls for a year just to see if I could get my biceps really huge?
Just look like Johnny Bravo.
Like when we went on a Star Strip, I went to the gym and all I did was curl.
Yeah, I do.
And then I just left. Like that's all I did. And I
Did it
think I
work?
petered out after like 3 or 4 weeks.
But did it work at all?
I
Couldn't tell.
evidently
Obviously,
not.
it did.
Yeah.
They
But
must-
I mean, think about it, like you see people running around your neighborhood all the time who are still a bit heavy.
Yeah. Joggers.
Yeah, and I mean,
I've always heard you never see a fat sprinter,
it's
but you see fat joggers all the time.
it's literally the easiest, quickest, fastest way to shred fat. And
Sprinting.
It's
or
Yeah.
quick twitch, whatever they call it.
yeah, but I mean, if you're by yourself and you don't have a coach, just go run 10 100s a day, 4 times a week, and you will lose 10 pounds in a month. And it sucks. It's very hard.
That's a bad word.
It's the argument of
Sorry, I heard.
resistance training over cardio, where sprinting is probably acts more of a
As a
resistance,
resistance, yes.
than just jogging or walking.
But anyway, I go to my trainer Max, you know him in Westlake,
Yeah.
and
Great dude.
he's got this big giant ball.
Mhm.
So we're at the end. This is one of my workouts.
Wow.
Right. But
guys
then I
do know
drain
each
it.
other.
We're all good.
Only-
So
I'm no Taylor.
he doesn't have 2 giant balls, just one.
Just one.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he want me to throw it against the wall and then pick it up when it comes back and
Yeah.
do that like 10 times. It's just silly, the stuff.
It's not silly. In fact, I would say
But like if I was just active, then I wouldn't have to go to a
Nope.
trainer to stay in one little room for 45 minutes and be active.
no. So I think here's the thing.
I just
Exercises like that, what they're doing is they're simulating what human males or humans in general have been doing for thousands of years, but no longer do. Like if you think about
a caveman.
exactly, like if you think a caveman,
Is that a Jewish caveman?
I feel like
but if you think about like hundreds of years ago,
when I think of Danny, I think Madman.
Madman.
And so
I think of
that's why-
Superman.
Yeah, okay.
A caveman.
Yeah, Spider-Man. That's
Like a
just
law
like
firm.
that's like a motion that if you think about it, you've been
Like I should be using it more.
Spider-Man, Superman, caveman. Attorneys at law.
you would be like it. Actually, I would say that most of like the weightlifting that people do is unnatural. Like that's not something that ever, from an evolutionary standpoint, you would have ever been doing. You're not bench pressing.
I'm going to be laying down, lifting. Yeah.
Yeah, but like just throwing shit at a wall that's heavy to be
Okay.
like, we have to get through here. I don't think that's.
So I was doing that, and
Yeah.
then I know I was trying to do it quick because I'm trying to impress Max. Like, I don't know if you ever worked out with a personal trainer, but
It is so weird how quickly you're like, I want this guy to think I'm cool.
yeah, I just don't want him to think I'm not giving my all.
Yeah.
I mean, he's giving me his all,
Right.
his effort.
Match the energy.
And I got to, So, yeah, I don't, like, if he's walking by me, I'm like, okay, I'll make sure I get, whatever. So I'm doing it, and then I'm trying to be quick about it, and I'm not bending my knees, and then I just
the
lean
form,
down,
the
and
form left you.
and
is
all of a sudden my
bent up.
back is killing me. And then I didn't want to show him how bad it hurt, so I'm trying to fight through it because for Max, like, it's
he
just
wouldn't
weird.
want that though.
No.
Max wants you to be healthy. He
That's what
wouldn't
my
want that.
daughter was telling me when I was
Yeah.
complaining later. She's
It's like lying
"Isn't
to
he
your-
there to help you?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah."
It's like that's the same as like lying to your doctor for your
Oh
physical.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
We have
it's like
about 3
probably
drinks a month.
No, I don't.
seven or 8 or whatever. Like not.
I mean, I'll have like
30.
one cigarette a month.
Dude,
When I'm
have
out
we
with
all lied to the
friends.
doctor about drinking and smoking?
100%. 100%.
Do you ever say that you smoke pot when you did or whatever?
I don't remember ever being asked that.
They would ask me, do you use any other drugs or whatever? I'd be like, nope. Like, I'm not checking. I am not putting anything on a piece of paper that is potentially
the
getting
one that
me arrested.
pisses me off the most is when the dentist feels like they have the right to know,
Yeah.
and they like,
Okay.
yeah.
But it's important because I learned that there are a lot of things that actually do affect your teeth, like your enamel or types of things you do or take.
I understand, but I'm there for a cleaning. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna see what's going on in here.
You don't need
I
to
have
know
tell
I'm
you that I vape
bleeding
now.
out of this orifice or
Yeah, exactly. I have AIDS. Why do you need to know that?
It's all
Right.
connected. They need to know these things.
Yeah, find Taylor Swift's dentist, and that's how you find out.
Have you noticed? Maybe it's different for you guys. I don't know, but your general practitioner, have you noticed them asking questions about your emotional state?
Oh yeah.
It
in
definitely has
recent
changed.
physicals
Yeah.
over maybe the last 5 years. I noticed that about 5 years ago, and my doctor at the time, I stopped him and I was like, "Hang on a second."
Why
I go, "Is this new? like you guys are, supposed to ask about our mental health now. And he goes, yeah, it's kind of the way things are going. I was like,
we don't really care.
Goddamn HIPAA.
I go, I love it. I go, that's great. That's great. I go, I'm in therapy. So, but yeah, I'm happy to talk about whatever you want. But yeah,
it is.
I thought it was, it was worth noting. It definitely, my ears kind of, wait
for
a
sure.
second. How are things at home?
So,
like, what business is it of yours, Doc?
This doesn't necessarily happen at like the GP, but I always find it funny. Like at the start of therapy, they kind of tell you like, hey, if there's something really, really bad going on with you, like we're going to have to tell somebody. You know what I mean?
Well, if you're going to harm yourself or others, yeah.
So
now you know the line of not
that's
not
the
to
thing.
tell them.
Because then you have a conversation with them where they're like, are you having any thoughts of harming yourself or others, or any suicidal ideations? And I'm like, well, I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah, you'll tell someone if I tell you that I am.
So I definitely won't tell you.
Well, that's why you always wear the hoodie to hide the cutting.
That's right, the track marks. Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah, very smart.
One more thing before I start us into like some sports talk or something, which we should probably throw out there. I haven't really seen one of these in a while, but you mentioned it yesterday. Saw my first Cybertruck in the wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing that anyone would buy that.
I don't get it at all.
Like, I really think Teslas look cool.
Yeah.
Like, I've been in a Tesla. Love it. I would think that'd be cool to own someday. But what's the Cybertruck appeal? Like, is it great to drive?
I mean, from all indications, it's not, but...
Are you just sending are you sending a message that I'm into electric power, but I'm not a pussy? Like the
probably, yeah, you're probably
like this is kind of badass.
Into electric power.
Because if you're into electric power, you're probably hugging a tree and wearing Birks.
You can buy
an electric
EV
F-150.
truck. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I don't understand them because they're not practical. What is the practicality?
You're not hauling stuff in it.
No.
Like the cargo space is about the same as a Prius.
Yeah.
You can barely get anything in the damn thing.
I always thought that it was like testing how far the stanhood or stanification of Elon Musk could go. Like, what if I made like the ugliest possible thing, and everyone who looks at it is going to be like, that thing sucks, and I'm going to charge you a ton of money for it, but you'll know that you have,
you're owning the libs?
Fealty to me who owns the libs. Yeah. The richest man in the world. Yeah, I mean, they're disgusting.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't either. I mean, my dad had a Tesla, which you'd seen before, which was a very nice-looking car.
In fact, speaking of farts, didn't he play the fart machine for your daughter?
They come equipped with the ability to, on the console, play farts.
It's like a little drop page.
Yeah, really? Like a little Enco there.
Yeah.
Fun?
Yeah. And he thought it was literally worth the price of purchasing the car.
Your dad, not your 2-year-old boy.
No, my dad was laughing for half an hour straight in the driveway just playing farts. Listen to this one. Listen to this one. I might be able to find that for later in the show.
There's a market for that.
Danny can do farts out of the the inside of your leg.
Yeah, inside of the leg, arm, hands. I think that's about it.
Give us a hand.
Obviously.
All right.
Yeah.
How about that? All right. Is this
a little low?
Crank it up.
Well, that's as loud as it gets. That's our sports theme. Yeah, we have some sports today. We can preview the Mavs, but I also kind of wanted to touch on. I'm going to pull out the Rappaport tweet on this one, but the story is what I want to talk about.
Okay.
But I find it funny the way Rappaport tagged the tweet at the end. But he put out that the Jags have reached a deal with star quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Sources say they're giving the former number 1 pick a 5-year extension worth $275 million, $55 million a year, $200 guaranteed, $142 million fully. I don't know what that means if $200 is guaranteed. Fully guaranteed? Okay.
Yeah, it might be like a roster bonus /
Incentives.
incentive type thing. Yeah.
And then he tagged it with Lawrence's agent, Jay Corey of MGC Sports, did the deal. So clearly that's your source, because no one ever gives a flying F who did the deal. They just want to know that the deal was done.
Yeah, why is your
There's
name?
never been an agent put in a news story before. But if you want all the other possible players that could sign with this agent to know, you want that out there. Anyway, this just makes Dak's, right? Everybody that signs with a different team, if a wide receiver signs somewhere else, that just ups the CD money. Now, if, Justin Jefferson signs somewhere else, you're like, well, okay. Arguably better than CD. There are some stats you can put side by side and go, CD's kind of the same player, but I don't think anybody really thinks that. But
No, but even
if you're Trevor Lawrence putting up against Dak,
For
like,
sure.
boy, Dak's clearly got better numbers than Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and I think also, even if you just go back to the wide receiver point, I mean, even if you're not as good as the person who just got paid as the best, if you're close to him and the price of the best went up, then the price of almost the best also just went up. You know what I mean? Like, it's just general inflation or market setting, I suppose. So, I don't know, dude. Every time they do this, and it's going to happen with Micah too. Somebody else is going to get signed, and the Cowboys are going to have to beat that ticket and that price. And they
beat the market with
weird...
Tyron Smith, as I recall, and then they got a little gun shy because they're in every other they don't really have a way that they do things.
Right. There's no
the way they do things
philosophy.
is, well, how did it go last time we did that? We will do it different this time. If it didn't go the way we wanted it to.
Sometimes even if it did.
What do you mean by that?
Like sometimes, you see that letting DeMarco Murray go was like a good decision. It's like, okay, we learned from that one. What if next time we have an opportunity, we draft a running back 4th overall?
Right, because who's the guy they
Darren
signed?
Madden.
Yes, he gave him a 1,000-yard season.
He was fine.
Like he was fine. It was look, you can actually just pick up running backs, and
I think they just get bored.
What is the logic on them? Which is probably a stupid question to ask anyway. What is their logic? Because I don't know if they have any. But rather than setting the market yourself for a free agent, why do they wait on other teams to do that and then realize, oh God, we can't afford that?
But because I'm saying now they're now thinking, man, see how we tried to get ahead of that market for Jalen Smith? That didn't work out well. We ended up having to cut him like a year later. So now they're going to try the other way. We're gonna wait. We're gonna be smart. Like, I don't want to pay Dak too early. He might not be that guy.
But the bottom line is, if you set the market, that's as cheap as you're going to ever get him.
Yes.
Right. No, they could have signed Dak for so much
less.
Yeah.
Like when he was first available to get it, you could have had him for $20 million a year. Probably like an 8-year deal.
Before
you might be ending his contract right now.
But I think the union might have had a problem with that, but I know what you mean.
Around when Goff was
signing. Yeah.
Because that was pretty low, as I recall.
It's like 32, 31, something like that for both of them. But
now it's looking like 60, 65.
Oh, yeah.
For Dak.
Oh, yeah.
And have you seen complaints? Not complaints, but just pointing out that Patrick Mahomes didn't really help this quarterback market. That he actually took a pretty friendly deal.
He did. And I remember
because he's now going to be like the 7th highest paid quarterback.
I remember at the time trying to understand his contract, and it was basically like 2 contracts at once.
He signed a 10-year deal.
Yeah, but like they had structured it in such a way that it was like there were all these voidable years and all these team option years and all this. It was a very confusing contract. But I think he probably deserves some credit, maybe not from other quarterbacks, but some credit for being like a guy who's like, hey, I think it's way better when I don't have to throw to shitty receivers. And then they still went ahead and lost Cheetah. So
what would Dak get on the open market?
50.
If they let him play 50, that's it?
Well, what did Kirk Cousins just get?
Like, are you thinking 50 guaranteed?
Let me look here real quick.
It just feels like, well, what's his name? What I just said. Trevor Lawrence just got 55 a year.
Trevor Lawrence is younger, and people believe in his upside way more. See, that's That's one of the things, too. And this is why probably most of the people who signed up for this podcast signed up in like the first month.
Mm-hmm.
You're way more excited about something when you know a lot less about it.
Oh, okay.
Like when you can just be like, I think it could probably be good.
Yeah, and then you
Then
find
get
out
into
that
it,
it's not.
Later,
Like,
you're
well,
like,
I'm in.
This sucks.
And then you realize, months later that this subscription fee has just been sitting there, and
Right, yeah.
you just used it as much as your Paramount Plus account.
Yeah, that's why, like literally, and I want to stare into the camera and say this right now.
Oh boy.
Literally, the only advertisement I will not do is for one of those services that helps you cancel subscriptions that you don't want anymore.
That's a great point.
Anything else?
Otherwise, we can be bought.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, if if Kirk Cousins is getting 40 a year or 45 a year, then yeah, Dak's probably regarded as a little bit better than Kirk Cousins. I think he's a lot better, but I don't get that sense from like the public. I think people think they're about the same.
And it's confusing on what the Cowboys think about him.
Who knows, dude? I think they think they're smarter than everybody in the room every time they walk into a room. And it hasn't really proven to be true.
Yet they're not.
Because
like,
you can like go buy all these energy shares that are going to be worth $1 billion and beat everybody at business. Those rooms they walk into, they tend to, just based on the metrics, seem to be the smartest. It hasn't worked out in the NFL world really at all. So I think that's part of it. I think it's hubris.
Well, we'll continue to follow that story.
It's worked out. They're still considered the most valuable sports franchise in the world.
Yeah, it's always them.
They get
or
toppled
Man
yet?
U or
Yeah.
but it works
So
out.
from that angle, looking at it, then they've been the most successful. But as far as winning football.
So my other football note for you real quick was are you keeping up with Aaron Rodgers?
No. Go on. I don't know. I see him occasionally every couple weeks. Feels like there's a headline about him.
He skipped the mandatory minicamp this week.
Okay, I did see that. That seemed shocking to me.
And
for a guy coming off an injury and he's got to get to know his team. And
yeah. And they have called it unexcused. So it's not like he had like a family matter or something that he.
So they're not publicly covering for him.
No.
Which you might expect a team to do.
And he said that he had an event to attend that was very important to him. I don't know if his agent said this or how that quote got out there. But
What is he hiding in a fucking peyote cave in South America for 2 weeks?
You joke, but people immediately started looking up like, where are the 10-day ayahuasca retreats right now? And there's one in Colombia and one in Peru that both started this week.
There you go.
What about Taylor Swift concert?
Also possible, but
The
I feel
Eras
like
Tour.
the issue there is pretty public.
Yeah, you'd see him there.
Yeah. Whereas when you go to those places, they have pretty strict no phone policies because at some point during that trip, you're going to think that phone could steal my soul. So
where's RFK Jr.?
It's a good question. But yeah, he is skipping all of the mini camp practices.
And what would you be thinking?
Nobody knows where he is. If it were Dak,
yeah,
dude.
I think Green Bay's got to be thrilled right now.
Yeah, my husband's a Packer, and he is very thrilled.
Yeah, just how
Jordan
that all
Love's
went
playing
down.
decent. You get away from this buffoon.
Yeah, Jordan Love puts one more of those years under his belt. He's going to beat Trevor Lawrence. That's the thing about the quarterback too. There's only a handful that are like the quarterback. I feel like Peyton Manning was one. Brady. Mahomes for sure.
Brett Favre.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
there are tiers.
When I met my husband, he had a poster of Brett Favre throwing him a touchdown, and he said he woke up every morning to catching the touchdown from Brett Favre.
I do that with Mahomes.
You should replace that poster with the Cum
No,
Zone
I'm
poster.
okay. Thank you.
See how that goes over
Every
at
day
home.
he wakes up.
But they all benefit from that. Like,
Which one?
Yeah.
Andy Dalton will end up getting paid, whatever. Dak is never going to be in Mahomes' area as a quarterback.
No, but the fact that Mahomes exists help stack out.
Yeah,
a
that's
bucket stand.
that's always been a really weird thing to me
For
because
sure.
there's only a few of those guys, yet they still got to kind of do that. All right, let's slide into basketball.
2, 3, 4. Basketball, give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Basketball, give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it.
That's kind of when you had cool, tired voice.
I was sick, yeah. But I wish
sick
I
voice.
wish I could do that. Like, I feel like Danny's pipes are largely a result of cigarettes.
I haven't smoked in years.
I know, but you did it long enough to
You
where
vaped 3 seconds ago.
That doesn't count.
Oh,
I forgot about my vape.
how does that not count?
I need
It
to
doesn't.
switch
It
to
doesn't help
Zen.
your voice at all.
Oh, really?
No, it's
Does it not have tobacco or whatever you guys
Yeah,
tell
it doesn't
me
have-
about
There's no
Zen?
tar.
the tar is what
Yeah.
makes your voice sound super cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just what vapors say.
I actually talked to my doctor about it, and he said
Okay.
that if the plaque that lives in your heart is a result from the tar in cigarettes. It doesn't exist in vapes. I'm saying they're good for you.
I think they are good for you. I actually
They're
saw
not healthy.
I saw a study the other day, no lie, that said that nicotine is good for ADHD.
Well, yeah, any stimulant is. It's basically
I've seen revelatory to
Ritalin,
me.
caffeine, all of that stuff.
Huh. All right.
I was like, man, I do feel really focused.
Sitting there hitting the vape
Yeah.
for focus.
So they're down 3-0. It's game day. That seems weird.
Nobody cares.
It doesn't feel right.
Nobody cares. I think that StubHub tickets, I think you can get in the building tonight for $100.
100.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't be
think I
surprised.
think you're probably not that far off.
Yeah.
So the only thing I was wondering is, are they going to try and lose almost because they want to win at home? That was one of the things I thought. Or is that something you think that's too ridiculous of a thought?
I don't think they would try and lose. I don't know if you'll see max effort, but I don't think they need it to beat the Mavs. I think the gap between those two teams is so wide that Boston
I
had
mean,
a
I guess I
bad,
don't wanna
Boston
say
already had
try,
a bad
but-
game in game 2, and they still won.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if
Yeah.
you want to win at home.
I think it's more just that teams let up.
They do. So the subconscious will dictate.
You're
Yeah,
up
your
3-0.
But if you subconsciously don't have max effort,
Mm-hmm.
do the Mavs subconsciously not have max effort? Because
Maybe.
Thinking about Cancun.
Yeah, like we know it is over. Do you want to go through the next week of having to?
I could see what
Play this out.
happened. What happens tonight mirror Game 3, where the Mavs expend a lot of energy. They maintain a lead for the majority of the game, and then Boston realizes, oh, let's end this now, because you don't want to give the Mavs any foothold at all. It's still a team with Luka and Kyrie, and Boston's shown that you can't depend on them to be perfect and make their threes every night. And if you give the Mavs a foothold tonight and they somehow, by magic, win one there, you really want to come back here for a Game 6 and then all bets are off and be the first? I think it ends tonight. I think Boston has control over that too. I think they're that fucking good.
I tend to agree.
They are
And
so good. If it weren't for, I was talking to Skin about this the other day, I think if it weren't for the looming Supermax deals that are going to be in play for both of their stars, you're looking at if they could keep the bulk of that talent together, that looks like a dynasty.
And they play in the East.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's, ready-made contenders over there necessarily to take a run at them. Yeah, I mean, they've been in the conference finals like 6 out of 8 years already. So, yeah, I mean, it's weird. We talked about it the other day, the fact that Brad Stevens.
6 out of 8 years?
Isn't that right?
It's
Wow.
something crazy.
Well, I didn't even realize that. Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, the only threat to them, obviously, is healthy Giannis. I mean, that's the biggest one anyways. Let's see. Conference finals, conference first round, conference finals, conference semis, conference finals. So, yes,
Wow.
that is actually true. And the weirdest part about it is just that they have a GM who used to be their coach, and he's not old. Like that Brad Stevens, just in his late 30s or whatever the age was like, I'm front office now.
So he's still in his 40s,
I think so.
ready to just have a long career. Yeah, and their
Okay,
current
he's 47, but still, like
Their
he
current
hasn't been
coach
a
is
coach for
young.
3 seasons. Yeah, very young. Joe Mazzulla's very young and very weird too. By the way,
Yeah,
he gives me,
he sucks, but he does seem like a good coach.
and he hasn't been caught on a Ring doorbell harassing a team employee.
Now, who are you referring to?
Ime Udoka.
Oh, okay.
It's weird
'Cause
that
last
we're-
week you were talking about a Ring doorbell, and it was Belichick with a walk of shame.
I didn't bring that up. Somebody else did. But yeah, Ime Udoka. It's weird that we look at Joe Mazzulla and we're like, this guy seems like a shady character. And it's like, yeah, actually, they only hired him because they had to fire the last guy because he was a verifiably shady character.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. They're a weird operation, but they're destroying.
Did you expect there to be this much disparity between the two when the series started?
See, I don't even really think that there is as much, because if you think about it, like there are a couple moments, like Game 2 with the comeback. There was the moment where if Kyrie would have hit that 3, they would have been down 5, right? So down 5, 2 minutes left, anybody's ball game with Kyrie and Luka out there. Game 3, Luka fouls out when it's a
4 minutes,
a 2-possession game with 4 minutes left. Like if Luka stays in that game, both of those to me were coin flips that might have been a little bit more heavily weighted towards like 55-45 than a true coin flip. But I don't think it's like they're going to get swept, and I think they're going to be like one of the closely matched teams to ever get swept.
I just think the things that you described, Luka fouling out, Kyrie missing threes, the big comeback, they don't get themselves into those positions 100% unforced, is my point.
For sure. That's true.
Boston throws a lot at them to get them into the positions that they're having to crawl out of.
Yeah. No, I mean, the thing I wrote the other day for D Magazine was, and boy, the one tomorrow is not going to be fun to write. Like you got to do it Saturday morning.
I look forward to those every time one
Getting
pops
swept.
up. Love them.
Everybody involved in that operation is super talented.
Your Mavs content is top notch.
But like, you look at
it's really fucking good, man.
you look at Derek White, or
Don't
you look at Derek White, or you look at Drew Holiday, or even in a game that KP's playing in and Dan's back is causing him real problems right
It's
now.
all right.
I'm
We're
gonna have
good.
to stretch him in the break.
Uh-huh.
We didn't mention that I stretched you. We mentioned you stretched, but we didn't.
Jake
mention
stretched me before the show. I
need
was
to get
stretching by myself.
need more
Jake
space.
said, "Let me push you," and
Yeah.
yes, it was very exciting.
Let's get you down here where there's more space.
But
Okay.
again, like
Both stretch
the
you.
5th or 6th best player on Boston's roster would be the 3rd best player on Dallas's. And even
Right
if
now.
even if your top 2 are neck and neck and maybe even better,
Yeah, the top 2.
it doesn't matter. The later you get into a series, the later you get into a postseason where people are worn out. So
Yeah, those benches really make a difference.
yeah,
Dude,
I got
but-
these
and think
Again, the
about
Mavs'
this.
big lead the other night
100%. Yes.
evaporated once they started with the benches.
And you want to do bench comparison. The Exum dunk was the first decisive move made out of Maxey, Exum,
Hardaway.
Green, Hardaway, and you can add Jones Jr. to that mix too.
Yeah.
Every time those guys get near a basketball, they look like they're about to urinate down their shorts.
Yeah, it's funny too because I was telling him yesterday the only other guy who seems confident is PJ.
Yeah.
Except that every single time he gets the ball, I get this thought in my head where I'm like, he thinks right now it's PJ time.
yeah, especially if he like makes
it's not a
one.
bad
But then he just like throws the ball.
Yeah.
Sometimes when a guy makes one, you're like, oh no,
Oh,
not happy he made
geez.
that.
You saw at one point the other night where Maxey had a pretty good look at a 3 and dished it off, and Luka's like, shoot it.
Yes.
And the next time he got the ball, he shot a terrible shot, which was a 3, which was not in his spot, and it was a lot more contested than the one prior to that.
Maxey's always
They're so out of their heads right now.
he's always been a guy that I would, you're not going to say somebody's like mentally weak or anything like that, but I feel like the only time he's consistently good is when he's just dipping and ripping.
Yeah.
Like when I get the ball, I'm shooting it. The second he has time to like pump fake,
Like
dribble,
Peja
or-
style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The second he has time to think, pump fake, dribble, pass off, it's just like there's no chance that's going in.
Yeah. No,
Harp
and
used to point that out all the time as a player in this league.
that's to Boston's credit too, right? They're not letting guys sit there with a ton of time, or
No.
just to be able to just take that open free shot.
They're dominant.
Yeah,
They're better. They don't have to double team anybody.
No. Yeah,
They're not blitzing anyone. They are playing man defense and just absolutely owning the Mavs.
Does Hardaway get in tonight?
Jesus
so we
Christ.
have
19 minutes.
we have a weird backstory here because after game 2, Dan
What was
and I
that
were
experiment?
well, Dan and I were both like, I don't know, try something.
Try some Hardaway.
And then like three minutes into the Hardaway experience, I was like, I almost texted Dan. I was like, oh man, we fucked up.
Yeah.
Try some Hardaway.
Well, why? They needed something.
I don't know.
And he's the guy that is
Could
on
get
this
hot.
roster
Yeah.
that when the playoffs started, we all thought there's a 30-point game there.
Maybe he gets hot once.
Yeah, but
Maybe
if he misses
hits
his
11
first-
He
out of
has
15.
done it before.
But if he misses his first 3 badly, like he did, get him out.
yeah. So 19 minutes,
give him
no
2,
points,
but-
no assists, no field goals,
I think he was like a -18 or
no threes, minus 16.
Yes.
16. Yeah.
They won. So in the 29 minutes he did not play, they won that by 6 points. Or excuse me, 9 points.
Yeah. 9. Yeah.
And they lost the 19 minutes he did play by 16 points.
He hadn't played much, and this kind of ties into the wondering why the fuck Hardaway was even in there. Hardy's pretty decisive when he's in there.
He's got irrational
He-
confidence, and
he's-
that's kind of what you need now.
Dude, the other
Absolutely.
thing too is he can pass. Like Hardaway, if Tim Hardaway Jr. gets the ball, that's going up.
He's firing it away,
No matter what.
But
Yeah.
I feel like Hardy has a little bit of play.
or he'll take a
fake to him.
wild drive into the
Yes.
trying to find something near the bucket.
And go too hard, and it'll bounce off. And boy,
Yeah.
the Mavs cannot rebound right now, except for Luka.
Yeah. Well, it's also a lot harder to rebound whenever the other team is. If you're talking about like defensive rebounding, if everything they shoot is at the rim and going in,
Yeah.
then you're kind of
Or
screwed.
What
or,
was the-
a long rebound 3. Yeah.
What was the thought process behind so little Derek Jones? Didn't Hardaway play more minutes than he did?
He did. I mean,
Is he just getting cooked somewhere? Or like
He's been
what am I?
invisible too, man.
He hasn't been doing anything offensively.
No.
but I mean, I listened to the whole kid post game and nobody asked about it, so I'm not sure what the thinking is. All I know is that they lost. They had a 20-2 run. Hardaway pretty much killed it.
Well, and you know how those things go too. It takes so much energy. You expend so much effort to close that gap. Rarely do you ever see a team that is down by that large of a deficit come back and then win by 7.
And especially if they've already had to do it 2 or 3 times
Yeah.
in the past couple of weeks. I mean, you're cooked. You're fried. Roasted.
And not to mention, and it's not an excuse because he's looked phenomenal the entire playoffs, but your MVP has the absolute dog shit beat out of him.
Yeah.
He's probably going to get knee surgery in the offseason or something.
Get the Kobe blood spin.
Yeah.
That guy is a mess. He looks like a mummy before the games.
Okay, so obviously there's the Luka discourse has been a lot of Luka bad. Brian Windhorst did it. We played it yesterday. Ripping him for his defense and Luka, and now because of that, it's kind of like if you publicize we get a negative email, you'll get a lot of positivity in return. I feel like a lot of that's coming in now. Like, hey, it's not Luka. He's doing this. Where are they without Luka? Look at the team he dragged to the whatever.
But it's also not wrong.
No, it's not wrong. So but Luka's a very polarizing. He's right up there with any NBA name right now, I think. Right? Just LeBron is the only other one, but I mean Luka
As
feels
far as
like
polarizing.
it just feels like Luka is going to be a guy until he wins a title. He's going to be he can't win a title. It's because he complains. It's because he does this, that.
That's
and he's going to
really-
be playing the exact same way.
Yeah.
And he's going to win a title.
And I 100% agree with you. That's why the narratives are upsetting sometimes, because it's like a couple threes go in here and there, and it's a 2-1 series Dallas, and now they're on their way to a title. And
can I take you to 2010?
Soft Dirk.
Dirk was never going to win a title. He was going to surpass Barkley as the best player to not win a title, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then he won one, and the narrative of Dirk now is a total 180.
Yeah.
He's a champion. He carried that team.
And there was a game in the last, I think it was the last series, where Reggie Miller was commenting particularly on how much Luka was bitching. And like the minute he said it, Luka went on like an 11-0 personal run.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember thinking, like, okay, we all know it's annoying, but let's not act like, unless he's just not getting back on defense, which does actually tactically impact things, this doesn't matter. It just is something we don't like to watch. But what I was thinking about the other day is how funny it is that Jokic has won a title, but like the whole narrative around Jokic is he hates basketball and doesn't give a shit about it. And nobody faults him for it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you know, the second
Yeah, it probably does suck.
The second he gets eliminated, they're like, you know, he's excited to go home, be with the horses.
After he won the title, he was excited. Remember, they were like, oh, isn't it going to be great?
They were like, there's a parade in 2 days. And he was like, oh, Jesus.
What?
Yeah, I want to go home, ride a horse.
Like, nobody thinks of it as
I've got
like
ponies to march through hotel lobbies.
It's a great commercial.
It is.
Yeah.
But
you know what I'm saying, though? Like, the narrative around him is that he's kind of lazy. He's kind of fat. He doesn't care about his job.
Right.
But he won a title.
Yeah.
And so once you do that, it's like, all right, well.
They built a great team around him.
Did either of you catch the little passive, more like, not really aggressive, but passive shot at Kidd that Luka made the other night after Game 3? In the post game?
Did not.
They were asking him, somebody asked the question of what happened because they got up really big in the first and what kept that from continuing on. And his response, other than the obvious, I think he mentioned, you know, well, it's a game of runs, whatever. He did say, he goes, I think that we should have kept the people in the game that got us there. He was criticizing Jason Kidd for, at that point, taking him out, changing the lineup, because I think he did come out a little bit at the end of that first quarter.
Yeah, he did.
So I thought that was a little bit telling. And look, nobody like Luka ever wants to come out of a game. I get that. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, or there's something there. But there was another time at the end when the Mavs were making that big 20-2 comeback, and it was a pretty frenetic pace, if you remember, during that whole time. And the Mavs, even though they were successful, looked sometimes out of control. And Kidd called the timeout, and Luka, it looked like he was trying to get a technical from somebody. He was so demonstrative about that timeout being called. He was pissed.
Yeah, if Kidd could throw a technical.
Yeah, exactly.
Kidd would have teed him up for yelling at him.
Yeah, it was not I mean, people say good look, whatever. I don't know anybody that plays with as much give a shit and passion as number 77. But I thought those two things were, you know, you can read what you want into it. Heat of the battle. Everybody's, you know, nobody wants to be down 0-3. But they were just a couple of things that I just noted.
I thought the same thing listening to Kidd post-game, too. We played some of this audio yesterday, but when he was asked about having to challenge the sixth foul, he's like, well, I mean, I had to challenge it.
I had to
challenge it. Because,
why didn't I?
You know,
why didn't I just challenge the second foul?
He said, yeah, he's like, why didn't I challenge
You want me
all
just to challenge all of them?
Yeah.
Why, did you have a problem with him?
No. I didn't have a problem with it. I think he was pissed off that Luka put himself in that situation and didn't want to say that was a dumbass move.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, I had to challenge it. So
why didn't you want me to challenge it?
It was a close play. I had to challenge it. Why don't I challenge all of them? And then
I
he
had
was
to
asked
call
a
that
question about what about the fourth? Maybe it was third or fourth foul. He's like, it looked like maybe that one you should have challenged because Luka got hooked a little bit. And he's like, looks can be deceiving.
Do you want me to challenge every foul all game?
It's just like it felt like
we only have one challenge.
He was pissed off about all of Luka's fouls because honestly, dude,
Luka wants them all challenged.
4 of 6 of them were dumbass fouls.
Yeah,
they were not good fouls. You cannot foul somebody under their own basket after they rebound your miss. We have a long way to go down the floor here. You cannot wrap somebody up right there.
Well,
it's just very dumb.
Do we have Tony Brothers tonight?
Oh, it's a good question. I don't really.
That's always a wild ride.
I saw it,
especially if we get a challenge.
Who put it out there? I can't remember. It's not Tony. It's the other. It's the white guy that.
Scott Foster.
Likes. Yeah, I think that's who it is.
Scott Foster. Yeah, the CP3 guy.
Yeah, I saw someone called him the series extender, so that's good for the Mavs.
He's in the pocket.
But speaking of everybody criticizing Luka, Windhorse was big on it. Did it surprise you, gentlemen, that yesterday Luka did a one-on-one ESPN interview with Malika Andrews, and he did mention some of those things. And
was that interview not predetermined?
Took it upon himself
2
and
weeks ago?
said, yes, it was. I can't do that in the NBA final. Like he answered all the criticisms.
It was definitely predetermined, but it wasn't pre-recorded.
Yeah.
It's something that you could tell they did at the team hotel. Jaylen Brown did it after game 2.
Okay.
And it looked like it was the exact same backdrop. Like, she's just there. ESPN is
okay. They had
PR,
scheduled
they
this.
set it up.
Okay. I didn't know if it was because of all the criticism and the Mavs were like, hey, let's.
No, I think they had said.
Let's put out some of this fire.
Up 3-0, down 2-1. I think they were going to do that either way. However, based on my own experience, I'm quite aware that Luka will cancel an interview right before it happens.
Yeah,
so he
with a couple spares that no one's ever heard of, but
not with Malika and
ESPN, your broadcast rights partner. That's probably written into the thing.
Yeah, I feel for the PR person who had to get him in that room, like on that day.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, motherfucker.
Okay, so if they come back and
win, this is not amazing.
They're not going to come back and win. Stop saying that.
If they did, would you, for 1 year, go on the TB12 diet?
Without a doubt.
You have to eat exactly.
Without a doubt.
What is on it?
It's like avocado ice cream. It's not Cheez-Its.
No Cheez-Its?
There's not a.
It's not Hot Pockets. I had a Hot Pocket the other day.
No, it's probably going to be expensive for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's avocados and what?
It's just the way Tom Brady shaped his life over the last 10 years of his career.
Okay, what is the loss here? You get fit and look incredible, and
you're not going to be happy
you're
getting
not gonna
fit.
I'm not happy anyway.
You'll end up fit.
Okay,
Who
we
of
got
us
to call
in
your
here is
GP.
Happy. Rob, are you happy? You look miserable.
You're just going to have a year of
I don't think
everybody else's drink. You're not going to drink.
But I don't drink anyway.
You can't have meat.
Fine. You
Brought
don't
to
eat
you
meat.
by-
Look.
So you're
if they
saying you're
win,
going to do
let's
it?
all do it. We're going to get so much ass.
Oh, yeah,
We're going to be
that's true.
so
Yeah.
fit. Yeah.
That is what it's all about.
And wiener, whatever you guys are into.
Are you into?
that Australian
will you do
dude.
the
They still
TB12
say
diet?
Yeah.
I didn't even know what TB was till you said Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Well, just nod
She
and
thought
say
you
you'll do it. Or
Yes.
you're not
I'm
part of the
in
cause.
for-
Would you get tuberculosis for a year for the Mavs to win a championship?
Because you know how hard
I
it
feel
is
like I
just
would
to
rather
eat right?
do that.
You know how hard it is to
12
eat
months.
kind of right on the road?
Months of
We went to Austin for Austin for
What are you,
1
a
day, and I
hobo?
ate like shit.
I was like, you could bring an apple. That's easy to travel with.
You can bring an apple, but are you
can
allowed
bring
to
a
eat an
bag.
apple on the TB12 diet? I don't know. Maybe there's too much natural sugar in it.
Ooh, I
Let's
bet
find
not.
out.
I bet not.
Let's find
Berries
out.
are really low in sugar, natural sugar.
Yeah, let's find out what's on the TB12 diet.
I mean, I know a little bit of you definitely can't ever eat it like a restaurant.
So there's
Never.
no meat?
I don't
nothing.
think so.
You can make it work.
You can make it work
hard.
if you just ordered a piece of fish.
Yeah, and it'd have
perhaps.
to be grilled in
It's mostly
no butter.
No butter.
plant-based, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably no salt.
Yeah. But if you're telling me
Let's
we
do it.
mount the comeback, and then I
Yes.
come in here with a 12-pack
Dude.
No,
But a
you're only
year.
going to come in here with a 12-pack
Okay,
of beer.
at the end of it, maybe.
You got a whole year of it, and you can't waver, or else. Well, yeah, we have to put some parameters on that.
I mean, for me, the thing is, I've always been searching for a holistic approach to healthy living that includes ways of picking up healthy habits and nutrition. So this is no skin off my back.
Yeah.
I feel like these statements get made on a Friday, and then you come in Monday and you're like, that was a terrible idea.
You don't know us. Don't act like you know us. We're committed to things.
Okay.
Coach, he said I was the first person to call him Coach Nash, but I call him Steve. Steve is great, and I have a relationship with him that's going to build over time, bro. Like, Steve don't know me from anything he heard or, anything that he's heard from someone else, or we've worked out one time in 2014. But it's grown as just a respectful relationship from afar. I saw him at the Hall of Fame 2 years ago, gave him a big hug, and now he's the head coach, and I think it's also going to change the way we see coaches. I don't really see us having a head coach. You know what I mean? Like KD could be a head coach. I could be a head coach.
Jacques Vaughn could do it one day. It's a collaborative effort, I think, on our part.
You're listening to
The Dumb Zone.
Are you guys prepared for the 2024 Olympic Games? Dan, where are they?
Societe Paris.
That's right. Dan was just there. That's the only reason he knows that.
I saw so many Olympic signs.
I'm glad they're doing it in a major city.
Yeah, because sometimes they do it in like white settlement.
Well, or they'll do it.
Yeah, this time they've chosen a city. Maybe.
Don't harm me.
Hello.
Danny's last appearance. Remember that?
Yeah, we got the debut of the autism comic.
Yep. Very modern media of you guys just to take something completely out of context.
Yeah.
And just run with it
Fake
as
news.
the headline. Yeah.
Lamestream media.
Mm-hmm. Way to go.
So we usually close the show with some news in Today in History, and we will today as well. I've got viewer mail, but did we have one other thing or some other stuff before viewer mail?
Yeah, we can call this group chat. We can call it Today in Twitter. Most of the things from the group chat do, in fact, come from X, as I call it, actually.
Yeah.
As a Cybertruck owner.
Twitter is a dead name, Jake.
Yeah, you can't
That
dead name things.
is an interesting criticism.
Yeah.
Did you buy a Cybertruck on break?
Now, yeah, I did. It's parked.
We don't know how long the break is.
It's parked downstairs. That's right.
That's right.
We didn't got
He got spots 1 and 2.
So the video I want to play for you is why I have restored my faith in artificial intelligence. I'm generally very afraid of it. I think it's probably going to ruin both of my children's lives. I think I'll probably be old enough to where like I've already kind of been like, well, I lived life, whatever. It's fine. I'm 60. But I think by the time that they're 30, they're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Except this video right here is incredible, and it is Mike Soroy's famous Quint speech from the classic movie Jaws, but edited with our recent obsession with Trump's shark video.
So I said, let me ask you a question. And he said, nobody ever asked this question, and it must be because of MIT, my relationship to MIT. Very smart. He goes, I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight, and you're in the boat, and you have this tremendously powerful battery?
Yeah, it looks like
and
his
the
lips are
battery's
moving right
now
with it.
underwater.
Yeah, perfectly.
And there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. Well, they weren't really that angry. They bit off the young lady's leg because of the fact that they were not hungry, but they misunderstood who she was. So I said, so there's a shark.
I still have
10
trouble
yards away
understanding
from
that.
the boat, 10 yards.
Just
Do I
what?
get electrocuted? If the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking. Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? Because I will tell you, he didn't know the answer. He said, nobody's ever asked me that question. I said, I think it's a good question, but you know what I'd do if there was a shark? Or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark.
Like it kind of sounds
times
like
out
Quint.
right with him, yeah.
It kind of sounds like Quint, but it also has like the Trump cadence to it.
Yeah.
And the video
So there's a
matches up
shark
like
10
90%.
yards away from the boat.
Why
10
not?
yards.
Let's just do it.
Yeah. Let's have fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I think I screwed the other video up. It's okay.
And if you're listening on audio right now, this one might be one worth going to check out on video because I will tweet it out later. But it is phenomenal.
And there's a shark.
That's all your stuff?
the
Did
way-
you have one thing
I
before
can't
we
believe
get
how
to...
good that is. I think I gave you the audio.
And
Do you
there's
have
a
it,
shark that's approximately
Email?
10 yards over
I have
there.
the audio.
By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Did you
I don't know how
notice
to
that? A
intro
lot
it,
of
though.
I'll
shark.
set it up.
Dan is about to play a video.
So you have the Dropbox link up that I sent you?
I mean, I downloaded the audio. Do I have to use the Dropbox?
No, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
So I was driving in today to meet you guys, and I got a text from one Kevin Turner, who I used to work with at a now defunct radio station. I think he's still there.
Yeah.
Sounds like you guys are tight.
Yeah, he just kept his job and you did not.
But he sent a text to, let's see, it was to me and Mike Soroy.
Okay, so this is kind of text thready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, he says, song that's ruined my week because I cannot get it out of my head. And he tells me the name of the song. And I'm like, I don't even remember this. He said it was on Valentine's Day. And he sent me a clip of it. Or he sent me the song. And I was like, oh, my God, yes, I remember that. And he goes, yeah, for 3 days I've been walking around singing the chorus to this song. And it's a very brief tune. And to set this up briefly, I thought I'd just bring it in because I listened to it with my kid in the car, my 3-year-old. He thought it was the funniest thing he'd ever heard. But we would do this thing where we would write songs for particular holidays. So for Valentine's Day, we all did these original songs that were supposed to represent what you would hear if you opened a singing box of chocolates.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And then I think for Cinco de Mayo.
Wait, but this show failed somehow?
Yeah.
What a dick.
It's a mystery, isn't it, Dan?
What a
See, Dan
dick.
won't laugh at anything any of us say.
I know.
But he will crack himself up. Look at him. He's over there laughing. If we had made it into May, we would have done the singing sombrero from Cinco de Mayo.
I like it.
Anyway, this was a song about Valentine's Day, and I think it's a little maybe instructional thing for your lady. And what I want Jake to do is do a lyrical breakdown once we listen to it.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already in. Into the song.
Let's go out on Valentine's Day. Let's get wild on Valentine's Day. Let's have drinks on Valentine's Day. One in the stink on Valentine's Day. Yep. It's a gift from me to you. Unexpected, yes, that's true. A deep expression of love for you. Some consider this a real breakthrough, but the only thing you say to me is ouch, 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 ouch.
What's there Nintendo set?
Okay.
So, yeah, I played that for my kid today on the way to the podcast.
Yeah, so he understands the whole digit in the back door.
No, he just thought it was really funny, the video game sounds and the fact that his dad is going out.
Oh, you didn't describe the whole...
He's 3.
What this is
It's
about.
on Valentine's Day.
Hey, you know, kids grow up so fast
They
these
do.
days.
Yeah, I'm just not. I don't want to be part of the new era that rushes these things along to maturity.
See, I feel like though one of the big problems with raising kids is the that stuff, sex, relations. It's the part that everybody is so afraid to talk to their kids about, yet it's such a big deal to kids once they, so I think you need a little roadmap. Let's bring him in here.
He'd love it.
Yeah, is he just in the car? Like, where is he? You said when you drove to work.
Crack the window, Rachel.
Left him with a security
window
guard.
was cracked at
Crack the
least
window, you're
1.5 inches.
Yeah.
No, if he had asked me questions, I would have answered them honestly to his level of understanding. But no, he just thought it was funny that I said ouch a lot. Anyway,
I have
lyrical breakdown, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, so the idea is that we only get a couple special occasions a year. So
yeah, and Valentine's Day, why not?
It's a special gift from me to you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
It's not really helping you at all.
No. Some people would say it's a real breakthrough.
Yes.
In the relationship.
I would 100% agree with that.
But I want to report back from the daycare when your son brings this to the daycare, and he's like, "Yeah, I was just telling him."
But at the end of the song, you can clearly see that she does not agree.
No, it's ouch.
This is it's ouch. Yeah, it just hurts.
So you taught him when to say no, it's a no.
Let me
yes, pretty much.
Let me offer the idea that ouch is not always a no. Sometimes, I mean.
I guess if it's not your safe word, then no.
Yeah. All right. I think I have the right video in there now, Rob, if you want to try it. That's what I was, yeah.
I needed a VPN.
Yeah, I had to download a backdoor video with a VPN to upload it in there. But no, I do believe now we won't have to watch Quint a second time. Although I would do that.
Me too.
Hashtag me too.
Did you guys ever... I know none of you ever have, but how close to how close to ever rushing the field have you ever been? Not rushing the field, but like fan on field.
Dude, I think I've told you as a kid. That was
just
one of my
itching.
idols was that guy because he had the balls to do it, and I will do it someday.
Yeah.
I will. That was a goal.
And you were at like 100 baseball games, or
You hurt
60
your
of them a
back
year.
picking up a volleyball. Can
Yeah,
you
but
imagine
he was
what would
12.
happen if you
Yes,
got
now I'm an old
tackled
man.
by Ron, the security guy?
But at that time, I'm just saying, I had a lot of dreams as a kid. One was starting the wave. I thought that guy was really cool.
Yep.
Oh
He's
my
got
God,
no
I'd
stars
love-
in for that.
And you make fun of me because my sports dream was covering kicks for Texas.
No, look, we were both suck. We're there's nothing good about us.
Yeah, let's watch it. This is from the Reds game the other night. We got a fan on the field here. Pulls off an incredible backflip. Lands
Wow.
it. Takes off.
Lands it.
Immediately tased.
Oh no! He got.
Oh, so I've never seen a guy tased.
I
on
haven't
the
either.
field.
Love seeing people get.
And
tased.
usually the comedy is watching, two out of shape security guys
Couple other angles here. He went and got a ball.
try to chase down, because 50-year-old dudes don't run on the field generally.
No.
It's going to be a mid-20s guy,
Probably
and the
few years.
50-year-old dude is the security guy.
Yeah.
And this is kind of not fair. It's like hunting deer.
Right, yeah.
I've never seen a guy get tased for running onto a field.
Right.
But
the crowd is just like, this is the most
That must
exciting
be
thing
a
I've
new
seen in a
bit.
baseball game
Yes.
ever.
I prefer the tackle.
It almost
Yeah,
does.
tase is the new bit.
However,
Tony's doing the backflip.
there are a
Yeah, it
couple of
does.
different images where I thought it might have been a female. It's not a female. However, it is a big man. Like
Yeah.
that's
He's chubby
one
guy.
of the bigger guys I've ever seen
He's
pull
a-
off like a full backflip like that.
He's a full C.
Was it
Like-
the chest that made you think it was a female?
No, there's a
He does have boobies.
but there's an image where, like, when you Getty Image got a great photo of this where he's running away, and the image he's got long hair, so it almost looks like and it's also when he's being tased, so he's got like Renee Zellweger face kind of.
Did you see that he wore his hearing or whatever? He wore the Reds jersey.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's absolutely incredible. I never even contemplated it.
Really?
No.
Not even inebriated?
No. Like,
Because you're a guy who did jackass stunts.
yeah, but most of them, not all, but most of them were just about hurting yourself, not about going to jail. I was very afraid of authority.
Did you guys videotape your jackass phase?
Oh, yeah. I got
You got tons of stuff
hours and hours and hours digitized.
that nobody's ever seen, right? Like none of us. Have you seen any of this, Dan?
We ran like a little 3-minute version of it before we actually went and did Jackass the movie at the Alamo
Alamo.
Draft House. Yeah. But I have way more than that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a guy attaching a bottle rocket to his junk and pretty much anything you could think of. Nobody put like a car in their butt.
And you're how old? 39?
38.
38?
That's me 39.
Yeah, you're the same age. It's that generation. It's people that are now just about to turn 40 because our, I think, common buddy, Matt Mabe.
Yep.
He did the same thing in high school and made all those videos, and he posted a lot of that content. And
Like way
it's
later?
Hilarious.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I was
Like in
telling
the
Dan
last
this
5
the other
years I've
day.
seen it.
Like the biggest thing was skateboarding
Mm-hmm.
or fruit booting. You know what that is?
No.
Aggressive inline.
Oh, fruit booting. Okay.
We call those fruit booters.
Aggressive.
Oh, you don't want a skateboard? You fruit booter?
I got a couple things that actually came in the mail to my literal home, which I think my young daughter alerted me to yesterday. She's the same one that read the docking mug.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
And I think it might be the one that's going to watch the kid during the recital tomorrow, so I'm not trying to offend anybody, but are we just going like over the ear, full headphone, wireless, just walking around now?
Absolutely. All the time.
Okay. I walked downstairs.
You saw her wearing that?
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, what's up? And she's like, what's up?
Yeah.
And she just had
All the time.
full cans on.
Yep.
What?
I guess that's what they talked on, maybe.
She walks out in the neighborhood with those on. She'll take a walk down the street. Yeah, whatever.
Incredible.
What, she's on her phone?
No.
Oh, yeah.
She could hear,
She'll do it on her phone.
But also,
that's
like,
how
they
it
just stay
connects.
on, I think, because she could hear me. And she was actually very cordial, but I don't think
Yeah.
she was talking to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
they just stay on.
No, she just wears them all the time, just listening to music or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is very common.
Okay.
In the
Not earbuds, big ass
like
headphones.
Literal, they
Yes.
look like Beats.
Like
They look
LeBron
nice. Yeah.
before a game.
Yes.
She's the LeBron of our house.
Come on, bud. Don't do that to yourself.
Anyway, she also read this because yesterday I got a package in the mail. She's like, hey, open it. Let's see what's in there. I go, okay. Just not remembering what we do. So I got this package. It says, hey, Jake, note was with it. I made you these after Blake's MBR reiterating that you wanted one of these. I couldn't just pick one, so I made 3. Here you go.
Okay, fantastic. Let's see what we got. Oh, shoot.
And here's what we got.
All right. Wow.
Jesus.
Very aggressive throw.
What is it, a Sinbad poncho?
Oh, it's it's a shirt in the style of what was it, Jamar Chase?
Okay.
Jamar Chase was wearing this shirt at a Mavs game.
At a Mavs game, yeah. Just in the back, like he was like courtside.
Hold it up for the camera.
So they had to keep putting this on camera, and this is a photo of OJ trying on the gloves, which is fantastic.
You have to see on the side it says, just saying.
Just saying.
Yours truly is also, oh, that one says yours truly. Just say, they all say something different.
And this is from Natalie. She says, she adds, and again, my daughter's reading this with me yesterday. Natalie adds, Uncle Hottie, can you give my brother a happy birthday shout out? His birthday is June 14th. That's today.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan loves the show. We go to remotes together where Jake completely ignores me and only talks to said brother. Jake told us at the remote in Athens at the Texan that y'all were joining Wash before it was announced. My brother was wearing the washed hat, and Jake asked me to take a picture of them. Love y'all, no puppet, and leg braces over mouth braces any day from Natalie. And yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, 100%. I'd rather be weird than a pedo.
I think he's right.
Yeah, give me leg braces. I just have very esoteric tastes. They're not illegal.
Fair.
It's not illegal to be a 30-year-old woman with mouth braces.
Perception is reality in this world, Dan.
I think really the biggest issue I have with that hypothetical is that for the most part, mouth braces are all the same, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But there's such a wide range with leg braces. Like, you could be dealing with something pretty fucking gnarly. Like,
what if it's not a brace, but it's a nub?
Danny?
What if it's 2 nubs?
I support
fine with it.
The disabled.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
Yeah. Why would I exclude?
Yep.
Because of a nub.
Yeah, but like the problem with the leg brace one is it just like maybe you just like tore your ACL, or maybe like you had a situation like the Kathy Bates what was that? Misery
Oh, yeah.
type situation.
Or you have polio.
That'd be really weird in 2024 because you'd be having sex with someone that was 125. But
again, esoteric tastes, Jake.
True. Got it.
Don't knock my kinks.
Got it.
So
Would
this
never
one,
shame.
this piece of viewer mail actually came to our lawyer's office.
Oh, good.
But it was our business
What's
lawyer.
the return address?
So that's where our
3500
business lawyer, that's where our LLC is set up, which is called No Puppet Productions. And it says, Dear Mr. McDowell, Mr. Kemp, I represent Cumulus Media, Inc. and its company Susquehanna Radio, LLC, in its intellectual property matters, including trademark infringement. As both of you know, given your former employment with Cumulus and your work on the Ticket radio station, Cumulus has long used these logos shown below, and then it shows the Ticket logos. Yet it has recently come to Cumulus's attention you're using the logos shown below, and below that, it's the No Puppet logo, which we made up as a goof.
As a goof.
Just a little funnin', right? It's clear you designed your No Puppet Productions logo to mimic and call to mind the logos that Cumulus uses, blah, blah, blah. He didn't write blah, blah, blah. I'm just now going to skip ahead. Your logo, it's bad. He doesn't like it that we're using the logo.
It's not illegal, though.
And he says, Cumulus therefore demands you and your No Puppet Productions LLC immediately and permanently cease and refrain, not cease and desist.
That's a new one.
Cease and refrain from all use of Cumulus's trademarks, including to blah, 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 and then Remove the above shown No Puppet Production logos from all products, materials, and online sites, included not limited to. And then he has a link to, there's a website that is apparently selling.
Look how big that logo is. My God.
A No Puppet Productions T-shirt.
Yeah.
It's on sale.
So, well, here's the thing.
They got hoodies? I'm in.
that logo's not even on the person anymore.
So here's the thing. So he had a couple links.
This is great.
Oh,
a child.
The onesie? Oh, wait. Okay.
So you can we're showing, if you want to look at the video, the website that apparently is selling these.
Yep.
And it says Aquafina.
Aquafina shirts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and so they sent a couple of links. One was the link to the shirt in question that's being sold, and then the other is a link to somebody's tweet. Mm-hmm. And that somebody apparently was at our 420 event at the Alamo, R.I.P. Alamo.
Mm-hmm.
For now.
They might be back.
And there's a picture on their tweet of the Dumb Zone cookie that Jake had made up for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
There's a picture of us up there doing some destroying, broadcasting. You were there, Danny.
I was. You guys.
And there's also a picture then of the big screen.
Did destroy that day.
And what the big screen had done was, what we did on the big screen is a little what we like to call comedy. We attempted.
Mm-hmm.
It's very subjective. But it was our weak attempt at comedy, which was we had a couple of No Puppet Productions logos that were made up by Ty Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And that we actually might be using. Like, we had a couple that were like Trump-based.
There's Putin.
One was Putin-based.
Yeah.
A couple that I actually like that I think we're going to use, or we're going to end up using one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then just for fun, Ty made that one with the ticket logo, but we never intended to use that. We're not going to use
That's
that.
the joke.
And
it's
that's
so
what
absurd.
That's what we said there. You can go watch the video.
Yeah.
You can see the video still of our 420 event. And then we closed it down and we left. Well,
event.
Apparently somebody...
What the fuck?
So apparently somebody that was there must have taken that screenshot or taken it upon themselves to put... The point is, this isn't our website. We have no idea who did this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And our lawyer did kind of inform this guy who sent it. And he also, our lawyer at least, was surmising. He goes, there are some guys out there, could be ladies, probably less likely, but there's that are like, they do copyright stuff, but they will just reverse image search things, and then they go looking for it, and then they'll contact the company and say, hey, look, I found this. You want us to sue this guy for you? And if I get something, I can, or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Third party.
So to give the benefit of the doubt to Cumulus, we would say maybe that happened. I don't know. All I'm saying is I know we got this piece of viewer mail in the mail.
Do we have the ability to pull the Aquafina shirt site back up?
Would you like to add to cart?
Well, I think there's something that Dan is missing here.
But also, I want to say that, have y'all seen Nathan For You?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have a whole episode about the Starbucks that he has the fake, and it's called the Media Circus Clause, that you can, as long as you're mocking a logo or image, it is legal.
What was the name of the coffee shop?
It was like Dumb Starbucks or something. It was like Dumb Bucks or something like. I just looked it up. I was like,
yeah, it was called Dumb Starbucks, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still open, I think.
So the funniest
because
part
you
about
mock it.
But it has to be a mock. Like if you were to take it and be serious, but because it's a parody, it works.
So the funniest part about this, and maybe
We don't want to fight
this
it,
is
though.
parody,
We're not going to go
also.
to...
No.
Well, first of all, we're not doing it.
We're
are
not doing it.
Profiting.
And
we're not
here's,
selling it.
Here's how I'm going to prove to you we're not doing it. If you scroll down here a little bit, Video Man, you can see that this is an ad for No Puppet Productions Jake and Dan shirt, and in the description it says the No Puppet Productions Dan and Jake shirt originated from the web series of the same name, which aired on YouTube from 2007 to 2010, created by Dan Mintz and Jake Hurwitz. The series follows the misadventures of two childhood friends living in their hometown of Rockville, Maryland.
That's where I grew up.
Did you do this?
No.
You really grew up in Rockville, Maryland?
Yeah, this is nuts.
The shirt features the show's distinctive logo, which depicts a puppet hanging upside down from a chain, which clearly it does not. there, but so
you see what you see, Jake.
That's true. Eye of the beholder.
Maybe this is how Blake makes a bonus, and he has this, and he just input it in AI.
In
and
AI,
it just
yeah.
generate. No, I'm kidding.
I just thought it was really weird that they looked
the
at this.
description has nothing to
they
do with
looked
it.
at this link.
I like that they show the colors in the logo. Aquafina, look, you can get red, black, green.
Yeah,
blue.
right there.
Oh, look at this. Look at this.
The No Puppet Productions Dan and Jake shirt perfectly captures the show's unique blend of absurdist humor and dark comedy. The puppet on the shirt represents the show's often self-deprecating nature, poking fun at itself and its audience. Fans of the show appreciate the shirt's subtle humor and its ability to evoke the show's distinctive tone. That one kind of hits a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. But the one about Rockville, Maryland.
It'd be cool if they were like, you know, $1,000. Like people are like bidding on them. Powered by Stripe.
Oh, over the years, limited edition.
You got
Over the years, limited edition and special releases of the No Puppet Production Dan and Jake shirt have been made available through the show's official merchandise store. Not true.
related products. Mavericks and Goose 20.
Yeah. Little Top Gun humor there. So I just thought it was funny that like a lawyer looked at this and was like, I'm gonna get him on this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously it's a cease and desist or a stop and desist or something, whatever it was.
Let's be honest. A lawyer didn't look at this and make this decision.
Computer did.
You think?
No, this was a directive given down to legal from someone here that is just grasping at straws.
It's all speculative. But the point is, we're not selling those, but I like to read mail that comes to us.
Okay, I'm going to look down Main Street again here and tell you. I will not only cease, I will refrain.
Okay. So we're changing our tone from the last time we got one of these.
But
that was a rough ride.
Will not desist.
Didn't say that.
That's what I'm going to edit in.
Carefully left out.
Yeah.
He did not.
Stop desisting.
It's interesting because, I mean, we've talked about how TC once made, for us, he made like these Dak Zeke shirts that said 214 and it had Cowboys logos on them. And he got a cease and desist within a week. We were actually selling.
Yeah, it was very quick, and we were selling.
Like, how the hell does the Dallas? How does that billion-dollar enterprise know that little TC was selling 14 T-shirt? You know, like he didn't sell any of them.
I mean, I have
how you know you
I
made
have a pretty decent idea, and it might have been that we were like, he was tweeting the link and
promoting it
Bob
on
and Dan were
on the
tweeting
air.
it to 100,000 people.
A lot of birthdays because it's a Friday.
One.
Followed by R. Dalrymple.
Yeah,
Uncle Hotmail, my brother-in-law Cal. This is DF6897. I want to wish my brother-in-law Cal happy 24th birthday. It's Sunday. He introduced me to the show. Lawyer Roundtable. Anyway, that's from Courtney. She signs off with more Jake and Julie. So there you go.
All right.
Boy, when you guys have Julie
I'm
on,
reading between the lines there.
Hey.
Courtney.
You get a big spike.
When we get Julie in here?
Yep. Notice that on your
Can't wait to see your analytics.
your views.
Dudes love the
your
chicks.
downloads. They do.
Yeah, it works for some people.
Well, when I was on last time, I didn't see a spike at all.
Daniel, my brother's Christopher's Sean Lee birthday is Friday.
I've waited on him.
Oh, yeah? Where at?
It's.
I know you've been at a bunch of
I've been
different
on a
places.
bunch.
My leader is the pornography Jake was watching when his darling daughter shot out of his... Okay, I can't do that. Into a plastic cup.
Some people were
Is that playing from my computer?
But when
Because
we
if so, that's really annoying. Sorry.
Anyway,
Yeah,
he's happy that you watched porn when you created your lab daughter.
Yeah, and I got the video saved forever.
That's from Patrick Holm.
If we get to 10,000 views, we'll play it on the stream.
The video?
10,000 subs.
On what it took to get you there?
I feel like if you're going to go in there and do something that could change your life, you should remember every part of it.
That's interesting because I did, we got the video for the sonogram. And I've always thought I would like to make a montage of, I started with the sonogram, but then, she's 1, 2, going
Right.
up through the years.
Let's go
but
back.
boy, if I could go back to, before that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're going to show the video if you get to 10,000 views.
10,000
Yeah, you
subs?
said the porno, then
Yeah.
the sonogram. Yeah, I
Right.
just heard. Yeah, that was on.
Well, maybe Philip will buy an extra 3,000 subs and we'll get
Did
there.
you hear about this? Apparently, there's a theory out there that for some reason Philip Kingston has inflated our numbers by 3,000 subscribers by just basically making 3,000 of them up.
Yeah, like he bought them.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
That's
we
a
don't
theory?
care.
Apparently.
Yeah.
It was at Gemma restaurant. I was like, man, I blanked on the
Gemma.
name.
Very, very solid. But yeah, it's like, what's in it for Philip?
It's my brother Matt Tepper's birthday. Happy Harrison Barnes' birthday.
The great Tepper family.
He's day 2, number 729. Leaders are Rodrigue Beaubois. And the time Jake showed up at his birthday party at Stan's Blue Note from Greg.
That happened. Tepperpalooza, as they call it.
King DF said, I'd like to give a birthday shout out to my good friend Rob Davis. It's his insert obscure player here that wore number 39 birthday. His leaders are Jake's wife and Heart Attack Man. R.I.P. Alamo from Chris.
Maybe hear from him later.
Dan, day 2 sub. Almost certainly the only one in Stewart County, Tennessee. It is my DeMarcus Ware / Cam Newton divided by the square root of Tony Romo birthday.
Just like,
what the fuck?
People are...
People...
More Nora, Izzy, and Malcolm.
The Mac Man.
More of
You
your
think he'll ever go by
currently
Mac?
unemployed former
Nope.
coworkers. Huh.
You know, that was
So
that was Mac's name.
reset what you just said.
I said, do you think he'll ever go by Mac?
Oh no,
No?
no. I mean, if he chooses to.
Mac Miller's
he
name was
might.
Malcolm.
He's Malky.
No.
That's from Terrence.
Correct.
Early birthday shout out to day 2, Jim Mahoney. His birthday is Sunday. Leaders are Michael Phelps's lungs, handling all that smoke like a champ. Paulina Gretzky's bikinis. And Dan's mom and her wooden spoon. Oh, and Dan's take on credit card companies and overseas transactions. The credit card companies are not there to protect you just like an HR organization or your company. They're not there to help you. They're to protect the employer and the business.
It's true.
From John Hexum. 2 more. It's my brother Lee's Carl Everett birthday.
Carl Everett.
He is moving to Hudson, Ohio next week from Texas. Please share your greatest Hudson fun fact, if there are any. That's from Ben Carpenter. So Hudson, Ohio, in November 2002, was the first community in the U.S. to launch a citywide electronic gift card. The card introduced by the Hudson Chamber of Commerce to help stimulate and keep shopping dollars within the independent merchants in town.
Okay, I suppose that is a pretty good fact. I mean, I don't
The more you know.
How about this one? February 8th, 2022, at a council meeting during discussion whether to permit ice fishing at Hudson Springs Park, Mayor Craig Schubert voiced concerns that allowing the construction of ice shanties might lead to incidents of prostitution. The resulting negative attention led to Schubert resigning 6 days later. A little Kemp spin for you.
I like it. He tried to come for the prostitution, and they were like, no, bridge too far, fella.
Yeah, I found that for you this morning, Jake.
Okay, interesting.
And for Ben Carpenter. And Tio Fuego, my DF brother Drew, happy square root of Tony Romo times Sean Bradley birthday.
Good God. Why?
His leaders are Jake's grocery clerk, Stare Downs, Country Saturdays, and Dan's Stepdad Army.
Stepdad Army. I
More
like
Blake,
that.
more Julie, less Sarah Hepola from Eric.
A full army.
Just the whole,
Not a
like, they could go
platoon.
raid and,
Not a
like,
regiment.
capture Bin Laden
An
if they all
army.
teamed up.
God, these have gotten
Here's Jay with the dub.
It's
far more insane than the ticket, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Like, I'm
too
having
much.
to do math
We should
to
stop
figure out
doing them.
how old they are.
Keeps their brain going.
I guess.
The Morning News has a story today about a recent scientific study that uses data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, National Weather Service, blah, blah, blah. It's nerds who know a lot about weather who say that we are trending with this quote-unquote climate change towards this area being major risk for major storms more and more every year.
I thought this was going to be a good area because we're not no earthquakes, no floods.
The problem is
no tsunami.
It's hot AF. And apparently heat can create weather events that you don't think of when you just think of heat. Like monsoon-type storms, tornadic activity.
Where can we move?
I don't know. I mean, nowhere anymore, I guess.
You have to pay for it in some way or another, no matter where you
There's always a charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, the study says that as the world warms, it's likely that tornadoes are becoming more prevalent. They need warm, moist air. I don't even hate that I just said that word.
The word moist?
Yeah, I know that's like a generic one, but that everyone hates.
You don't like that word?
No. I don't like going oi.
You don't like going oist?
No.
You know,
I'm not a punk rocker.
You don't like boink?
I don't like boink.
I was like, I say oy vey, oy all the time.
Oy vey.
Don't like that at all.
Yiddish.
You don't like
Are
boink?
you busy up there?
Hanging up the OJ shirt. You don't need to.
We're on video.
We are partly on video, but I'm not part of this right now.
You just, if you are
Most
not
people
looking
are
on
listening
video,
to us.
I know, but still, you don't have to.
you could have saw.
Don't you think that looks really cool?
You could have done that 10 seconds after. You can't see it.
Why are you doing
You can
this?
barely see it. You can see it.
Jake, why are you doing this? Have you not learned that he doesn't give a shit?
Interesting story from the world of college sports as the Big 12 is considering selling naming rights to sponsor the tournament. So it would be called like the Lockheed 12.
Wait, just the tournament? What tournament?
Excuse me, Big 12 selling naming rights to sponsor or own. It would be the name of the conference. I
Okay.
Yeah, so
They're changing it from the Big 12.
the Dumb Zone Conference,
So they'd have to say that when they,
the Dumb Zone
the
12.
No Puppet
Yeah.
Conference.
Yeah.
like if they said
Sounds good.
they're playing a team from the, they'd have to say the sponsor.
Yeah,
every
exactly.
time.
They would have to say exactly. They would have to say the HEB champion Iowa Hawkeyes or whoever they end up having in their conference.
When you get
at
to
one
a point
or another.
in life where you feel like there's no available space to rent, they always come up with something else to sell.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It's very true. And what's interesting about this one as well, these are all because of comments that Brett Yormark, their commissioner, made this week. They're also getting into I call it PE, private equity game, where they may be starting to parcel out pieces of ownership of the conference to private equity firms. So essentially, like any money that the conference makes, that revenue would be partially owned by BlackRock or whoever, steps in and gives them $1 billion. And, we talked to, who do we talk to about this? About the sports team situation? Brian Curry?
I don't recall.
Oh, we were talking to one of our lawyers about this, actually. The NFL is actually updating their rules now to be more in line with what the NBA and I believe MLB does, where sports teams are just going to be owned by private equity firms now. You won't know the name of the owner. They may have a controlling principle.
So the NFL currently, you're not allowed
Not
to
allowed
have
to
that?
do that. That's you've got like these legacy families. You've got minority owners that can come in.
So is this because the money's getting so big?
Yes,
Too expensive even for one person to buy?
And it's both that and when the money gets that big, private equity looks at it and is like, I need in.
Yeah, I'll
Because
give you.
These things never lose money.
Mm-hmm.
Interest rates are super, super high federally. So what if I could just guarantee myself this amount of return by my high-rise white shoe firm just buying a team?
It's the same, it's musicians, songwriters selling their publishing rights.
Yeah.
For whatever, tens, hundreds of millions of dollars, depending on what their catalog and who they are is. And it's a long-term investment.
And I think a lot of times those are bought by private equity as well, right? Like it's not like some guy
well, yeah,
has $100 million.
Right. It's private equity. Sometimes it's actually like a music label. Sony or Universal Music has decided to purchase the catalog of Bob Dylan. It's a big expense up front, but in 20 years from now, they still retain ownership of those publishing rights. That big expense in 2024 pales by comparison to what they're making over the long the long haul. My question is, what is the term limit of the ownership of
we
the
offer 3D rendering
of this? Basically, they're selling stock options of their football team or the Big 12 or whatever. When does that term end, or is it a perpetuity deal?
I don't know. I mean, because typically it ends when they're sold, but it's like
But is that
transferable? Yeah, I don't know.
All that stuff's got to be determined.
Yeah, it's just really weird, and it's really weird too that we're like trending towards a direction where there's not going to be like one person or one family that you can get mad at because of sports.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do? Go throw a tomato at Merrill Lynch?
Yeah, or Truist Bank?
Yeah, exactly. Like if the Cowboys, it will never be the Cowboys, but if whatever team is owned by like 5 financial firms, like
maybe Taylor Swift will buy the Kansas City Chiefs because she owns all of her own music. I mean, she started that whole thing. I mean, I hope you respect her at least for that.
I definitely do. One of her very good friends also owns a women's soccer team in Kansas City.
One of Taylor Swift's friends?
Yeah. She's married to Patrick Mahomes.
She does?
Well, and Blake Lively.
She owns that
who
team?
you're talking about?
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds?
Okay. No. Maybe they own it together, but
'cause they're like best
Brittany Mahomes like has a massive ownership stake in bringing women's soccer to Kansas City.
That's cute.
And she used to check me in at the gym.
Aww.
She probably just. That's cool that she was able to just work hard and build up the wealth to.
Did she have to help you reset your locker number for 696969 when you were locked out?
No, there were no lockers there, but yeah,
Yeah.
Or
it's my code.
It is.
Have you changed it to 911, like 911, 911?
And I don't know. I panicked. Like I had to go. My locker wouldn't open, and this is just at the rec, and I had to go find an attendant who happened to be a late teens, early 20s female to go into like the locker room, and she asked me what was the code you used. Now, as many people have pointed out, I could have just said I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, I told.
He remembered.
I was like, "Is 6969?" And then she tried it, and it didn't work. And she was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I guess we'll have to."
It was 696, and then 9.
Right. Right. That's why you just say no. I don't know, or just give her a different number.
I know,
because who cares? You're here to open it,
and it's not going to work either way. I'd already tried.
Like if I tell,
because listen, I knew I remembered the code.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Say if she puts it in, and then she could only prove you suck.
Did you just
at opening a locker?
You just dropped the towel and said, "I don't know. You figure it out."
No, I didn't do that.
And that's how he got in the commercial.
That's exactly how I got in the commercial.
The code is 6,900.
Yeah.
They were like, get this guy on that bike.
So Danny brought this up earlier, but tickets for Game 4 tonight have dropped significantly. But they're not quite as low as Danny proclaimed, $20.
I didn't say that. I said
Yet.
you can get in the building for $100.
$20 is a lot to Jake.
I think if you, yeah, look at my gambling
It's like
slip.
a weekend winnings.
It's 25
Dude,
is like 100 to him.
Bumming the other night in Game 3 whenever they were down 21. I got super good value on $10 to win 50.
Wow.
It didn't hit, you know.
I made $700 off the Western Conference Finals and
Oh, wow.
stood to win $1,700 if they won the finals.
But what did you bet?
100
Oh,
on both.
that's what
Yeah.
I bet like $10.
See, I just don't see the
as
point.
I see fit.
So Roy went to Vegas and he put down a fin on both series.
No way.
Believe it or not.
So yeah, the cheapest
Got to make
tickets
money
available
somehow
on
in these times, Jake.
on ticket, but thank you.
I don't work. I don't know if you knew that or not. Yep.
It's fair, yeah. Cheapest tickets on Ticketmaster right now in the upper bowl are about $500, but that is down
900, right?
significantly. Yeah.
It was 900 to get in the building, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So almost
game time,
almost 50% off. And
wait till game time, bro.
And I would think also
I do that.
just being outside. Do people still do that anymore? Nobody do gum
What?
anymore?
Like scalp
Yeah, like is that still going on?
You can just buy it on your phone. Like
'Cause I
you
guess
can go
I-
on and it like.
Are there
right
guys
from GameStop.
holding tickets, scalping tickets?
You could definitely buy. You know what? I
think we did run into a guy.
Yeah, at the playoff game recently.
Yeah.
So my father-in-law he's a retired police officer, and he worked all of like the games in American Airlines, and he used to bring my husband as a like 8-year-old and get scalpers and be like, if you don't want to get arrested, give me the tickets, and he would get them in the game.
That sounds like an abuse of power.
It was awesome.
And I love
seems
it.
Really illegal, but I
Yeah.
also
I might be
really
a little.
like
I'm
it.
like, I hope I'm not off
Is
on
that-
that story, but I'm pretty sure that's how.
Oh, by the way, is that a sack of cocaine you have? Gonna need that too.
Okay, no, he's not like that. He's a very good cop. Like I was like, he's a detective.
So you'll say you'll do anything to get out of this ticket?
That's actually he pulled over Colin's mom, so that's how they met.
Anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep. And now,
All I can think of is Bad Lieutenant Harvey Keitel.
Ah, yes.
Right, Dan?
Great scene.
Is it?
I mean, I've told this story 100 times here, but I know a person who that actually, like, their family member got impregnated by a trooper, and I think they got married.
you have to say you have
Like
a
on
buddy.
a stop?
Yeah,
Whoa.
I got a buddy. It's on
Hold
the list
on.
already. Yeah,
So a trooper pulls over a young lady.
not in this state, but in the South.
Okay. Pulls over a young lady on a stop.
here?
They end up copulating on the traffic stop. She has a baby, and they're still together.
They were at least married at one point.
Uh-huh.
I've not followed up on this story recently enough to know if they are still betrothed, but they definitely got married.
Wait, in the U.S.
Yes.
So what's more south than Texas?
It's Arkansas. I've said it before, but yeah.
That's not south though, right?
Not south of
I
Texas.
said the South.
The South. Okay, but it was. I mean, I hate to ask this. It was consensual during the traffic stop, right?
I think it was consensual in the sense that
The implication.
I don't think she was
Physically,
forced, but I
okay.
do believe that there's obviously like a
there's a
power imbalance, and there
disparity
was
of power,
Yes,
yes. Mhm.
yes. And I'm pretty. I'm sure I have parts of that
quid
story
pro
somewhat
quo.
wrong, but in general, that's
Like he
what
didn't give her the ticket.
That would have been a real asshole move.
Yeah, like, you know.
Oh my God.
Also,
right.
I give you the ticket.
There's your dude.
Oh, and here's this. Sign here.
I have never gotten a speeding ticket or any ticket.
I bet not.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I work hard.
That doesn't have anything to do with it.
No, but I seriously, I've never had a ticket.
One of my friends who I'm actually talking to, that she owns a bar in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm discussing that we might broadcast from her bar if I can't get into my brother's bar.
They still got the picture on the wall.
She claims that she's never gotten a ticket because every time she gets pulled over, she tells the cop that she just started her period.
I've heard that before.
I've never used that one.
And
I've been pulled over twice.
She's, bummed out if it was ever a lady cop that pulled her over because the lady cop would be like, yeah, okay, cool. And then write her a ticket.
Yeah, I'm on mine now. You're getting a ticket.
Yeah, this is why I pulled you over.
I actually pulled you over because I could tell we had synced up as I was driving behind you.
But once again, Jake.
Sign here, cycle sister.
Yeah.
We, again.
I don't have that
do
on.
that.
No.
And
It's not an admission of guilt.
Nope.
The Dumb Zone presents
the white male is kept down so much from society.
Yeah.
And female.
But more male.
Yeah. We've got a lot tougher.
Step down.
Anyway, today is Friday, June 14th.
They never even ask you guys to be president.
No, they don't ask you to do all that tough stuff. Or last night, I'm upstairs above the garage with a bad back. Everybody already knows that.
Yep.
This is marker 69, so please.
I still have to run downstairs to kill a spider. That was no bigger than, like, your pinky. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Spider?
That's what I'm saying.
Snake.
This is how tough we have
Remove
it.
a lizard, perhaps, but a spider? I don't
Did
know,
you
man.
find the lizard?
He lives amongst us now.
That's a game we play at night, too.
Did you find
the lizard?
Yep.
You're so romantic.
Uncle Dan checks in.
Hey, baby.
Oh.
Anyway, Friday, June 14th, it is Flag Day. Flag Day. It has nothing to do with Pride Month.
And it's a bearded dragon, too. You could do that for a lizard. Sorry.
When you... Never mind.
On this day in 1943, the U.S.
I don't
Supreme
even really
Court...
know what Flag Day is.
Does she ask you to play Find the Bearded Dragon?
I bet you some people are hanging lots of flags and stuff.
We need a
Like,
dumb zone.
Yeah, what is it?
Labor Day, Memorial Day, I get it.
Okay.
You know, like Christmas even, I'm not religious, but if you believe that somebody came back to life after dying, that person's birth is probably worthy. But Flag Day? Just a fucking piece of cloth we have to have
Wow.
And
to separate it?
Like, is it? We already have July
Celebrate
4th,
another?
though.
Yeah. And it's pretty
That's the
soon.
big one.
Maybe
Huh?
it's in
It's pretty
preparation.
soon. It's not like they even spaced it out.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's a
yeah. It's like in
seasonal-
2 weeks.
Yeah.
This is Independence Day warm up.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
But what do we
It's a
get?
big
We don't get a day
fluffer.
off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's disrespectful to the flag.
Why? It gets a whole day.
Nobody really celebrates it.
Anyway, so on this day in 1943, isn't this mildly interesting? The Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that public school students could not be forced to salute the flag of the United States.
That'd
be interesting if they ruled they could be forced. Like, so how
Yeah.
does that work? You got a guy like, holding your
put your
arm
hand up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Suspended if
somewhat news to me because I felt like I was definitely forced.
Yeah, I just went to my son's. He's at pre-K now at the elementary. And as we're in the meeting, I'm like, I forgot we say the Pledge of Allegiance. And they say the Texas Pledge.
They're
which I'm
still
like,
doing that?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, do I put my hand over my heart? Like, I'm an adult. I can choose my own stuff now. Like, no one has to tell me what to do.
And what
I
year
don't
is this,
know.
Dan?
That was 1943. In 1954, on this day, President Eisenhower signed a measure which added the phrase "under God" to the Pledge of Allegiance.
And that's still in there?
Yeah.
Of course. One nation under God.
So, just for if you always kind of think based on media, right? Like, oh, this is how our forefathers, founders. No. 1954, we decided to add that.
Yeah, it's very similar to like the Civil War monuments. You're like, oh, they must have. That's weird. They built those like right after the Civil War.
No.
You know what's weirder? That they didn't, and they built them in the 50s.
Yeah.
And 60s.
On this day in 1983, 5 people were killed.
They saw where things were going, Jake.
Stem the tide.
In a fire at a Ramada Inn in Fort Worth.
Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Do you guys know about this? You ever hear about this story?
I have heard about this, Kev.
I have not.
I've not seen video of it, though.
Stacked rolls of carpeting and padding caught on fire somehow.
And?
Somehow.
Well, 5 people died.
That's
what else do you want?
Yeah.
Oh, you know. What year was
They
this?
deserve
80s?
a flag.
83.
83.
They should get a flag. There's like if you're a dummy like Dan, like me, there's a lot of stuff that can catch on fire and be a real problem that you don't think about. And rolls of carpet and padding are one of them.
They had a fire at the Grapevine Eatsies yesterday.
I heard about that.
I talked to Adam Romo this morning about
How bad?
Okay?
Doing okay?
Let's just say our thoughts and prayers are with the salmon burger.
Oh my God! I thought you were. I was like, did someone?
Maybe that was the fire. Like they made it and someone was like, this is so
right.
This
It was
salmon is
too
fire.
great.
fire.
It was probably Dan's salmon all the way from the.
No,
Grapevine
everything's fine.
Good.
What, did somebody accidentally ignite a gigantic chocolate chip cookie with Corby's face on it?
Everything's fine. But he did say, he's like, did I ever tell you about the Plano fire we once had? Apparently they had like a little smoke coming out of the wall, and they kind of thought it was like nothing, and they weren't going to do anything, but then the manager said, you know what, I'll just call the fire department. I mean, it's smoke. And there was a fire raging inside the wall that they didn't know about. And had he not called, the whole Plano store would have gone down.
Wow.
And that's what I said to him.
Yeah, wow.
Have you ever seen a grease fire?
I said, wow.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're scary.
Doesn't sound so scary to me.
The one time I worked at a restaurant, I thought something was on fire, so I went into the room, the stock room, and I found hundreds of bottles of marinara filled with cash. And I used that to save my family's restaurant.
Yeah.
It was left there by my dead brother. He was an alcoholic.
Joe is...
Yeah, it makes sense. He would have been able to put all that in those sealed
And he resealed it, too, like, which was, I mean, I've thought, like, I work in a restaurant, I would be able to look at that and tell those are open jars. But no, there was cash in there.
Joe is alive and well, and I could tell the second you open your
Of
mouth
fucking course you could.
that an attempt
I think
at
it's real.
comedy was about.
Ooh, he only called your comedy an attempt at comedy. And
I
thought
would
it was
call
funny.
that correct.
It wasn't comedy. He just basically
I thought it was
reiterated the
hilarity.
synopsis of the Hulu original series, The Bear.
What?
Yeah. At the end of season 1. I know what you're doing. I'm the comedy predictor. I've evolved. From
On this day in 2016, a 2-year-old boy was dragged into the water by an alligator near Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa.
That is a
I remember that.
brutal one.
The child's remains were found the following day.
2?
My dad used to tell me he would take me to Florida and that would happen if I was acting up. I remember that very clearly.
I have seen a gator at Disney World before.
Really?
Yeah, like in the hotel that we stayed at, there was a pond, and there's gators everywhere. And then the other note I would tell you on this, and you probably know this somewhat from going down there a lot.
The Port Charlotte?
No, like to where my in-laws live, we would go crabbing, right? Which essentially is you're out in the bayou, and there's a bridge, like a footbridge, that's really probably only about 6 feet wide. And what you do is you tie buckets to the bridge and drop them in the water, and they've got the bait in it, whatever. There are gators everywhere. Like, you become desensitized to it.
And that water is so murky, you cannot see them until they are on you.
And I've got daughter out there who's clumsy, and me who's also pretty clumsy, and I'm thinking, dude, if I
fall in,
trip, I'm going to have to fight off an alligator. And the people out there just don't even think twice about it. Like my 3 half-sisters who are like late teen at this point that we're doing this, they don't even think about it.
Well, everybody that lives in Louisiana is insane.
Everywhere.
Right?
Yeah. Little
All
one,
of them.
little gator, big gator, gator coming up to the boat, gator 20
Could you
feet
fight
away.
off an alligator, you think?
Hell no, dude.
Which is the one that drags you down and flips you around?
That's a crocodile.
Well, I was always told from my dad, his ex-girlfriend.
I think that's a
in
crocodile.
Florida. He's like, you just flip them on their back. And I was like, I'm not flipping an alligator on
Yeah,
their back.
Your dad flips your ex-girlfriend?
No,
What?
no. My dad's
Now
ex-girlfriend.
that's an attempt at comedy
And this
right
is
there.
why you go to Disneyland. I've only gone to Disneyland.
To get your kid eaten?
No,
Oh.
because it's at Disney World, right? Am I
Oh,
not
Disney.
on point?
I got
Land
you.
is
I got you. I got you.
California.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, am I wrong?
On this day in 2017, a rifle-wielding gunman opened fire at a congressional baseball practice in Alexandria, Virginia, wounding one man and several other. House Whip Steve Scalise. You know who that is? What's the House Whip? It's a beating?
Yeah, he's just a beating, yeah.
The assailant died in a battle with police.
That's very interesting, given that came up on the show just this week.
Like 2 days ago, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very funny bit. Also, can you wield anything other than a weapon?
Rifle wielding.
Like you hear knife wielding, rifle wielding.
Knife wielding.
Like, did they ever call the person like, oh, it's here comes the bread wielder?
A club. I've heard of somebody wielding
that's a weapon.
a club.
That's a weapon, though. I'm saying like anything that's not, oh, hey, bartender, wield me a beer.
I've probably said that drunk, like slurring.
Possibly, but it's just one of those things, you know? I feel like we're doing an NPR way with words right now.
Yeah, do you wield your wiener when you walk into the room? And
Now, don't tell me that you didn't just see the same look on his face the second,
like
the
you're walking
second
in,
that started and he paused.
Yeah, I saw it. The gears have been spinning.
In the bedroom, you're after you go to the bathroom to kind of get it all ready.
What the?
I don't know. Kind of clean it up
The
a little.
meaning of wield is to deal successfully with, manage.
Hold on, I got to go to the bathroom and clean it all up. Birthdays today. Jalen Smith is 28.
Sinks too high.
28?
Yeah. It happened fast, man.
God. Was that a worthy second-round pick? Kind of had a year. 1 year was pretty good.
Considering I think he was going to go undrafted, probably not.
Former Maverick Sam Perkins is 63.
Is that Big Smooth?
Is it? I think it's not.
Okay.
Who's Big Smooth? How do you not know this, Mr.
Sleepy
Maverick?
Sam, right?
Is it Sam Perkins?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, then it is.
Thank
Has
you.
Corby partied with him? Sasa Doncic is 50.
Papa.
Luka's dad.
How old's mom?
She's around that.
Are they together?
No.
Really?
Definitely not. No, they've not been together for some time.
Interesting.
Aren't you heavily attracted to his mom?
I mean, Luka has a.
Can you imagine if you're
Let me tell you guys something.
Luka's stepdad?
Luka has a hot grandma.
Yeah? You'll go there?
You know I will.
Bobby Witt Jr. is 24.
I want to be Luka's stepdad.
Oh my god.
Too. Bobby Wood
Do I have to
Jr.
call you daddy?
Client
No,
of the great Bobby Stroop.
Oh, yeah?
Colleyville Heritage, I think.
Actor Will Patton is 70. He was in No Way Out and Armageddon. You'd recognize him. Singer Boy George is 63.
Creeped me out so bad when I was a kid.
Isn't it weird
man,
to
Will Patton?
If somebody had told you
That's a tough one.
that Boy George was dead on this day, wouldn't you believe it? Like, I'm surprised he's still alive.
Yeah, we run into one of those every now and then. Like, for a long time, I thought John Madden was dead, and then I saw the news that he died, and I was like, what?
Shit.
I thought John Madden's been dead for
Boy
7
George
years.
gay
No. I
or
don't think so.
trans or what? What is Boy George? Or just he's Boy George?
That
He's a
slope
human.
is way too slippery for me to step on, Dan, but please go
Yeah,
ahead.
what if you get fired?
Yeah. Well, he's setting up a resume tape. I know Danny.
Sure.
It's
With
been
what?
obvious since the get-go.
With what? This
This?
episode with the song Ouch? Yeah, I'm so hireable. Well, he can do that. Yeah, we don't really have a need for that, Bill.
I thought it was strong content.
Yeah. Thanks.
MC Ren, 55,
NWA.
from Ren and Stimpy. No?
Nope.
And
Fastballs.
did you know this?
Probably not.
78 years old today. Donald Trump.
Oh, today's the big man's B-Day.
The big man. I was watching one of his videos from a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was the one with the battery and the boat, but the crowd started singing happy birthday to him,
That's awesome.
which
That's
I
so
thought
cool.
was
On
great.
Flag Day.
MIT,
no less.
my relationship to MIT.
How are you guys going to celebrate? Be honest.
When he wins?
No, his birthday.
Oh.
They did with the video. That was a really good video.
Yeah, it was. But I mean tonight.
What do you think he's
Like, the day is still young.
Yes, is Melania like
Or
just
is it-
sitting there drinking wine right now, getting prepped?
Or
Having
what's
to kinda
homegirl's
get-
name?
I wonder.
She's got
The
a
one you
pill,
saw at the strip club?
Stormy
2
Daniels?
pills,
Where's she at?
I wonder.
Bottle of
I
wine.
believe she lives here, to be honest.
Trump
but
might be here.
I wonder if they ever have sex.
No.
You gotta think
He's
no.
the president. I mean,
But like you never even really see them together. Like I feel like it's just a public show thing. I mean, my contention has always been that Bill and Hillary only have sex once a year on Christmas Eve.
well, there was Monica Lewinsky. So, you know.
Well, I mean, there was like 20 more than that. But I just don't think they have like a romantic involvement or relationship at all. And I wonder about
It's transactional.
Maybe
big
it's like
man.
you
Yeah,
there.
it could
It's
be completely
emotional.
transactional.
It's emotional.
But like, when's the last time he had sex?
Would you rather watch
Here we go.
Trump and Melania or Bill and Hillary?
Bill and Hillary.
Really?
Like,
Yeah, 100%.
That looks pretty bad too, I would think.
Nah, I mean, Melania grosses me out.
Let's make your birthday great again.
Trump grosses
All right.
me out.
Bill and Melania or Trump and Hillary?
Ooh.
I'm all about that. My God. She's a dish.
All right, deads today. We have died on this day. In 1825, Pierre Lafont.
Be like cramming a marshmallow into a thimble. But
He's
I'll
the
try.
architect who laid out Washington, D.C. So that was
We had A Frenchman
architected
do
by a Frenchman. Yeah.
That's tough to swallow right there.
That's what she said.
Yep. Thanks, Bill.
That's what Melania said.
Born on this day now dead, Alois Alzheimer.
He invented forgetting.
Yeah.
Wait, I can't remember what you just said.
What is happening?
And
That played.
Pat Summitt. Now, Pat Summitt was born on this day now dead, but we could do an end around to a story.
Yeah.
Because it was Pat Summitt's death day. Do you know this?
No.
Yeah, so back in our time at the ticket, I briefly did ticket tickers at night during the ticket top 10, and then TC Fleming did the tickers during the day during 10 to 3, which included bad radio for a couple years. And when you do that job, you kind of get audited every now and then, where previously Rich Phillips and then eventually Sean Bass would pull your tape and he would kind of tell you what he thought about what you were doing. My reviews were always stellar, of course.
Where's the stinger?
But
TC?
one time TC got a review, and they were all negative. Like Sean's reviews of TC stickers were always negative. And one of the reviews was Buddy Ryan, legendary NFL coach who was the coach of the Cowboys' rival Bounties. Everybody here knows who Buddy Ryan is. Died the same day as Pat Summitt, who coached women's college basketball. And I'm pretty sure TC either led with Buddy Ryan or just put Buddy Ryan and not Pat Summitt. And he got I would say a reprimand, but it was definitely a report of how could you not mention the passing of the winningest college basketball coach of all time instead of Buddy Ryan. And TC was like, because it's fucking Buddy Ryan and she's fucking Pat Summitt. I don't understand how this doesn't make sense to you.
And that went over how well?
About as well as every response TC had to anybody who ever exerted any authority over him.
God,
Does he still work there?
Nobody loves
I don't think it worked
management
well.
more than Thomas Charles.
To be fair, he's right. Way more people here care about Buddy Ryan than they do Pat Summitt, but now I can't think about anything other than that.
I love the Pat Summitt story, man.
Comes up.
Don't imply that it's a sin against humanity that he left out Pat Summitt.
It was not a big deal. Nobody was like, I can't believe I didn't learn that.
That's
from
a passing comment in the hallway.
Hey, Pat
not
Summitt.
an audit.
Yeah.
Who's auditing tickers?
It happens.
Was that before you got the hardline board op job?
And that was Today in History.
I don't
Was that the
recall.
next step in your evolution?
Well, I did the top 10 before hardline board op.
Okay.
But TC was doing it while I was running the board for hardline for sure.
Okay.
I definitely liked on the Gist podcast because I had to re-listen, and they're like, Dan, 20 years at the ticket. Well, and Jake 10,
Yeah.
And
He's quick to
half.
point that out.
It's kind of obvious. It's funny.
Well, I guess we worked together really for 10, but Jake's been there a long
You
time.
see it equal.
Or was there a long time. Anyway.
Why did I just hear a kick drum?
Because I hit audio.
I think we just got joined by Floor Tom.
Yeah, I was going to say, what did I just heard a percussive sound just at a burst of 3. Okay.
Well, this was just a load of fun, Danny.
Yeah. I hope I don't get a cease and desist letter for referencing some intellectual property of Floor Tom.
Shout out to Ham.
It won't be for that, but maybe.
What's up, Ham?
Do you have any closing remarks?
I don't, Dan. No.
Friday afternoon.
No, I was just
so
hoping.
many people will come in with a big list and they're ready to roll at this point.
Mavs prediction?
I feel like
for
you're
tonight?
ready. Oh, they're going to get smoked.
Mm.
They're going to get smoked, right?
It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good.
I like your Mavs hat, bro.
It matches your Mavs shirt, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a Christmas present.
Yeah?
Aw.
Yeah, from my 3-year-old.
Love it.
He
That
picked
is
it
sweet.
out.
What if I trade you something for it?
Is he
No.
still in the car, right?
I'm good.
The
Yeah.
window cracked.
That's kind of an interesting
I got a juice
dynamic
hat.
because
Juice box.
if
3-year-old.
box,
if you
20
get,
bucks.
I'm sure he went and picked it out.
but that's what I was going to say is if you get the gift from the 3-year-old, and they maybe scribble their name or whatever, your ex probably bought that.
Yeah, I've never gotten an actual thing as a gift from a 3-year-old. You get a drawing, a piece of clay that's supposed to look like something, and it doesn't.
Sure. And it doesn't.
Yeah,
My son
but
bought me cookies, and he told me, Mom, you could bake these. I was like, thank you. They're
Well, like
No,
that
the
just-
ex bought this for sure.
That just seems
And
weird. That
stuck his name on it.
the 3-year-old went to the pro shop.
Right. And happened to know that I really wanted the city edition,
Pro
new
shop.
era 59 has to be adjustable.
I kind of
Don't
feel like
fitted
next
out.
week,
He knew all of these things.
will we start the TB12 diet if they just win one and we start it and then go
Absolutely
as
not.
long as they have to win 4.
We're all in agreement on this. If they win 4 in a row, we are TB12 in the rest of 2024 all the way through June 1st of next year.
That's
right?
job security for
I'm
both of us
doing
right there.
I'm in.
I'm 100% doing it. You'll never know if I cheat.
Or next year's flag.
You'll
day.
never
Oh,
know.
no. We'll know if you cheat. Dude, we're going to have weekly body mass and
You can't
body fat.
cheat. And you can't do the thing like I'm sure you've done a million times when hugging the porcelain thing or whatever. Like, hey,
Yeah,
God,
like when you
I
eat-
promise I will not drink again. I will not take drugs like that. And then later you're like, well, I mean, he's God. All-knowing God knew I wasn't going to stick with that promise.
Right.
Right? Yet still healed me.
Yeah.
Like, try and stop me.
You get it. God.
Yeah.
He knew that I was going to break this
But this
promise
isn't
when I
God.
was
This is bigger than
making it,
God.
right?
This is a pact you're making on the show.
It's bigger than God because it's the NBA Finals.
And
Right.
it's Flag Day.
And it's Flag Day.
Yep.
That's right.
Flag,
I'll do it.
Dan.
Flag.
And Video Man, are you in?
Oh, he doesn't care that much. He's like from Maryland
He
or something.
hates he's from what, Rockport?
Yeah.
Rockville.
He doesn't care.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks, Danny.
Thanks for having me.
Great
Thanks,
closing
Danny.
thoughts.
Adios, mofo.
Don't want me.